Good morning, and welcome back to Rise and Shine College Football. I'm your host, Jason Watkins, here with my special guest, Marcus Dent from the Gridiron Insight. If you love college
What's
football,
happening?
you know you're in the right place. So before you forget, smash that red subscriber button, like our videos, and don't forget to ring the bell so you don't miss one moment of Hall of Fame college football. What's up there, Marcus? Good
Man,
morning,
just
sir.
just chilling like a villain, bro.
Chilling like a villain, man. I'm dragging ass this morning, man. Got to get myself together. Got to
Hey,
get myself together. What's up, everybody? Good morning, Brandon Snake, T Boomer. Good to see everybody in here. We got 3 folks in here so far. We'll give it a second, let everybody get in here.
oh yeah.
Greg Ray, what's up, man? Good to see everybody. Make sure you hit that like button on your way in. Let's talk some college football. Got a couple of different things we can talk about. Obviously, the big game coming up next week is a big part of it, but you keep hearing this. What I keep hearing so much about is this Big Ten. Is it better that they're taking over as the main character in college football these days? I think it's ridiculous on the face of it, but because you got to win it more than one time in a row,
That's
and you
right.
got to definitely win it more than a couple times in a row too, man. Come on now,
That's right. Hey, a broke clock is right once a day.
right? Twice a
That's
day.
I mean twice a day. Yeah, you're right. Twice a day.
Yeah.
So hey, man, anything can happen. I think the Big Ten did one thing really well when they looked at those schedules. They didn't put their best teams having to play all the best teams in the Big Ten, and I think that was
Limited
done
each
by
other.
design.
Now, of
Yeah,
course it was. Yeah, they
that was done by
limited it.
design, and
Mhm.
they kind of, you know, um, they betted on the SEC doing exactly what they did, beat up on each other.
Yep.
By the time they got to the postseason, we were kind of beat up, but that's no excuse. Now, that's no excuse. That's something we're gonna have to get through as a conference, and I think they're gonna. I think in the long run, they're gonna look at that and they're gonna fix that
Yeah.
because SEC don't want to lose those dollars.
No.
And they're gonna fix that little bit of a problem that that people think we got. I don't think we really have a problem. I think the Big Ten got a couple wins this year, which was cool. You need a little bit of parity, but yeah, y'all still ain't the SEC. I don't care how it goes.
Well, and the idea that you added Texas and Oklahoma to the mix and got worse is
Yeah,
hilarious on the face of it, just on its own. But
right.
I think you're definitely right about the Big Ten. I think that they took and they limited their exposure as far as their best teams. They limited the exposure to each other
Mhm.
because knowing that they're going to end up, you know, probably at worst, their best team shouldn't have more than 2 losses. That's exactly
Mhm.
what happened. You ended up with Oregon was undefeated. Ohio State had 2 losses. It should have only had 1 probably. They shouldn't have lost to Michigan, but they did. And then
Indiana.
Indiana, yeah. That definitely I don't think that one was planned. I think that was a byproduct of their
It
that was a
was.
byproduct of the
It
fact that
was.
they had to try to mix up the schedules as much as they
Mhm.
could, but it worked out for Indiana, and they ended up only losing the 1 game because they only played Ohio State. Now, had they have played Penn State and,
Oregon.
Ohio and Oregon too, then they're gonna
Mhm.
they have that's 4 losses right there, you know what I mean?
Correct.
Or 3
Yeah.
losses anyway.
Man, I mean, you talking about Illinois? You take Illinois. Did they play Illinois?
But they did not. No.
I think Illinois would have beat them.
Yeah, I do too.
So hey, it is what it is. Hey, look, get your pom poms. Y'all can do all that this year. You
Yeah.
you can have the 2024 season, but
You better hope
you
you beat Notre Dame if you're gonna talk all this shit.
you're right. Everybody's picking Ohio State, and Ohio State has a great football team,
They do.
and they played a couple of great football games, early in the playoffs. But the last game, I saw a little bit of deprivation. It looked like to me, and it looked like to me with Notre Dame it was like they're picking up speed. You know, so man, I just everybody's picking Ohio State, man. To me, I think Notre Dame is going to win the football game. And
Hmm.
I think they're going to win the football game for the simple reason that they just willing themselves, and I think they're fresher than everybody else, bro.
Mhm.
I mean, it just like I said, that's just my opinion. Watching a really good Ohio State team, they're good, man. They're talented.
They are good.
That defense. If you look at them early in the year when they did lose to Michigan, it was like, okay, we got all this talent. And they were just letting this talent play, and now it looked like Knowles came in and he did a little bit more scheming, and man, it looked like everything just got better. You
Yeah, they
know,
gave up 13 to Michigan, you know what I mean? And
right?
so but they did I think that early in the year, yeah, they because the game against Oregon was early. So they
Hmm.
gave up, I think it was 28, maybe 29, something like that. They only lost by 1 point in that game on the road.
Right on the road.
So, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that's kind of they got a great defense, man. And you talking about that defense. Hey, I hope that defense coordinator decide to come on to Norman and get with his sweetie pie.
That'd be okay with me. That'd be alright with me too. We'll see what happens. I'm not exactly sure how that would be. Um, as far as does it if Notre Dame wins, I don't know that it has anything to do with that as far as Knowles is concerned. I think that I think saved his job. I think he saved his own job.
Oh, he definitely saved his job. But
Yeah,
now there's NFL talk.
yeah.
There's NFL talk about Day if he win, he possibly could go to the NFL. So
I guess I could see that. I guess
yeah,
I could see that.
yeah. But to me, why would you want to? I'm being honest with you. I mean, it's
Yeah.
a lot more work in college football. I mean, it's a lot more work, and with everything that's going on with the NIL
That's the hard part, I think.
and that's the hard part. I mean, you take the NIL out of it, Nick Saban is still coaching college football,
Sure.
without a doubt. Urban Meyer will probably be trying to get back into college football if it wasn't for all this NIL stuff. So, yeah, going to the NFL makes it easier and probably a lot in a bigger payday. If you're at the end of your career and you want to make some dubs before you just get out of here, and he's making great money at Ohio State. But
Sure.
if you want to double that in the next 3 years with a big buyout, man, go coach in the NFL.
Mhm.
You don't have to worry about contracts. All that stuff is done by somebody else. You don't have to worry about losing this kid. Um, next year having to renegotiate his contract this year. So I could see, if a person is really tired of that hustle and bustle of college football, yeah, I could see a person going to the NFL. I can see how that's attractive to them at this point in time.
It is. It is. I think that it's been much more I think that's a problem that college football has to work on.
Hmm.
I think it's something that college football has to work on because and I think it is being worked on though too. That's just the thing. When you start looking at what it is, the differences in between college football and the NFL, they're not as much as they used to be because now that you do have money coming into these players, and it's not just the NIL, but revenue share. You'll have an NIL is going to be its own little separate entity. Although, if you listen to what Joe C said yesterday, it appears that it's going to somehow count against their cap or whatever, which
Hmm.
I don't know that I necessarily understand or agree with all that because from everything that I've seen the coming from Congress, coming from the courts, everything else is that you can't do that. That you're not going to be able to limit what they can make in NIL. And I think that there's a lot more to it coming down the pike than you can automatically say. But what I would tell you is the biggest thing is something that we talked about before, and I had my column about it, whether or not we think BV was overworking them a little bit at times and things like that. I think that that's going to end up being collectively bargained. And when you do that and you start doing, some of that stuff, I think it's going to give them time, the kids more time, off time, things like that, where you can't work with them as much, which is automatically just like in the NFL, it'll take away some of that time. Now, recruiting will mean that you have to continue working probably more than you would as in the NFL. But I do think that you're starting to move more to an NFL model
No, definitely.
all the way around. You
Definitely,
know,
yeah, I see that just in everything that the courts are saying, and from what everything that's going on right now, you see the NFL model just creeping and creeping and creeping, in the college football, and I think it's going to eventually happen within the next 2 years. With the presidency that we have coming in right now, I could definitely see Congress coming in and saying, "Hey, look, we want to do a little, we want to help you guys out. These universities, y'all spending all this money." I can definitely see that because that's pretty much what this Congress is. I feel like it's going to do anyway. But I can see that. I can definitely see that coming, man. And the thing about it is, I don't think it's a bad thing. I think it's a good thing, to be honest with you, because I think there need to be some limitations where we can get back to a little bit of normalcy and, kind of know who's going to be on the team from year to next. So that's coming. And then also, I got some news dropped yesterday from my guys at 24/7 that they're finna close that portal down. I don't think you're going to have a spring portal next year. That's what they're talking about.
I've been hearing that anyways. I've been hearing that for about a year. So it's
that's coming. That's in the mix right now.
Yeah.
So if you take away the spring and you only have 15 days, after the season, that window, then that's gonna make tight decisions like that. You're not gonna be able to shop. The only thing that you're gonna have people shopping during the year when they feel like they're gonna get out. It's gonna be like Black Friday come mid-season. You're gonna have all the agents contacting these kids. Well, I can't say it's illegally because you can contact them. You're gonna have all these people contacting, and you're gonna have kids sitting out and all that kind of stuff. So something has to do. If you sit out, you don't play, hey, you pay back that money. So I think the rules and limitations that are coming, I think it's good for college football.
Yeah. Yeah, I do too. Hey, good morning, Coach. Good to see you in there this morning. Good question here for you though, real quick. Do you think players are being overworked? Came from Max Swearingen. He's another OU fan.
I don't know if they're being overworked or not. This game is tough. It's rugged. I played the game myself, and certain position groups, hit more than other position groups. Sure. And sometimes you have to look at the weight of the season or the weight of what if you're limited, if you only have, 8 or 9 guys compared to another team that got 15 or 20 guys. Yeah, in my mind, you scale it back a little bit. But, you don't know what the situation is, what the team at that point in time. But as for OU, man, my son he's gonna go regardless, man. He don't care about that. I never heard him say anything about they being overworked. He just said he worked the hell out of them.
So, they are, and I think that some work a little harder than others for sure. But I would say that I think your trenches
are gonna work harder than everybody else, man. That's for sure. Your trench is gonna work harder than everybody else.
Yeah,
because they're the big guys. They hitting all the time. So yeah, they're gonna work hard.
Sure.
That's a part of it. And like I say, that's everything is about knowing your team. As a coach, you got to know your team.
Sure.
And then if you know I can't go 1,000% because I got kids that's banged up a little bit.
Sure.
Hey, I got to nail it back.
Right, and I think that's if everything that I was saying in that column. I know you probably read it, but it was more along the lines of: is it a question? Is it too much? Is there too much during the fall? Is it particularly during the fall? Once you've already got done with camp and all that other stuff, I think that you do what you do in the spring. I think you do what you do in fall camp to kind of get the competition levels up. I think once the season gets started, particularly once the conference season gets started, you start looking ahead as what you have coming down the road. I think there could be
kind of like the NFL does.
Well, I think the more games that you have, and we're adding games. I mean, right now you're looking at both of these teams will have played 15 games. They will have played 15 or 16 games.
16. I think Notre Dame played 16.
Notre Dame didn't play. They were one less. So I think it would have been, and in fact, if you didn't play in the conference championship, which neither one of them did, it was going to be 15. But
Yeah, that's right.
16 with it. So I'm pretty sure that's right. But anyway,
yeah, that's a
either
lot of
way,
games
15,
regardless.
16, that's a lot more games than they've been playing in the past. And I think that you have to, the way I look at it, particularly when you look at Oklahoma from last year, we had so many injury issues.
Yeah,
Probably want to dial it back a little bit as the season goes on, right? You don't want to waste. You don't want to waste the player in practice.
Yeah, I think definitely they're looking at that, man. You know,
Sure.
they take precautions when it comes to that. That's something that you're a head coach. You got to look at that. You got to know, hey, look, I got some injuries. Then I got to kind of chill a little bit. I don't think they're from not doing that. I think that happens. Now, do I think they dial it up when they get in? Oh, yes, sir. they dial it up, man. But you have to kind of look at that and kind of know, hey, look, if I keep going this way, I'm not going to have a team. So
something to do. If we're talking about going to a more of an NFL model, that is definitely part of the NFL model. Is recovery, a lot of recovery. Nutrition. And
Bill Belichick talked about that.
Yeah,
he definitely talked about that. Treating his program is definitely like an NFL team, regardless of the rules and regulations from college football. He wants to treat that program like a NFL team.
Yeah, I think that's kind of the direction for everybody. Morning, Neilio. Thank you for the super chat. Good hump day to you all. Hey, Jason and Coach Dent. Thank you, Neilio. Appreciate the super chat. Chrissy says portal change would only benefit the schools and coaches. I bet there would be a lawsuit on freedom of movement. No, it would just be a change. It would only be a change as far as like not having a portal after the spring. And to me, I think that's one of those. To me, that's one of the changes that you could see them making and not having a big fuss about it now, because you had it before, but already you couldn't go from an SEC school to another SEC school already when it came to the spring portal. So I don't think that's a huge change if they cut that off, and I think that that's fair. I think that these, more than anything, the coaches just want to see that they have who they have for the year, and I don't think that's a ton to ask for. You're talking about a situation where right now you can only hold somebody for a year.
Right. And here's the thing, they are letting you leave.
Well, in fact, you're not even really at that point.
Yeah, they are giving you a window. You can't, as a player, me as a union guy for 25 years, you can't have everything player heavy, and I'm for the players. You can't sit up here just because the players want it. I'm gonna sue and get it, because I'm gonna tell you that's coming. That's gonna come to an end, because they're giving you everything. They're giving you pay. They're giving you freedom to move. The deal with the junior college stuff is coming in. If they give you freedom to move, make that one move, and you don't make it, now you want to go sue because you didn't have enough time. You knew at the end of the season you didn't want to stay there.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's petty, but it could happen. But I just see the courts, saying, hey, look, man, come on, we gave you enough. You can get out of here with that one. And I might be dead wrong, but everybody sue for anything. I mean, you sue for hot coffee being spilled on you, so you can sue for anything.
That's fair. And I would say this: the one thing about it is that I think at this point you're about to see it go to more of a collective bargain thing, anyways. So as far as, I think that you're going to be able to, that's going to restrict player movement a bit. Now, not a ton, but I think that, because I think you could end up still with just 1-year contracts. But I think that you could start seeing a couple that are more, well, and I mean, we just saw with Bryce Underwood, he's got a $15 million deal or whatever. I believe it's over a 3-year period in Michigan, right? So I'm not positive that that's not already headed in that direction. That is kind of what we saw, or what we heard Joe C talking about yesterday, is that there is going to be more collectively bargain things, and he sees it kind of coming to that in the next few years. I don't know how long I would just tell you that you can't.
I think it's around the corner.
I think it is too, but I would just say that I don't know that it's not that easy to predict for anybody, even the folks that are in the middle of it. They don't even know what's really coming next. And if anything, I think you do need to know. You got to have an idea of some of this stuff. But again, I'm going to say this: none of this has to do with the players so much. It has to do with the fact that the NCAA fumbled it. They fumbled the whole situation from day one. They could have had something set up in place years before, and instead, they acted like they got caught off guard with what the Supreme Court told them about that. Well, they were pushing that damn lawsuit with Ed O'Bannon back for years. It had been around for 10, 12 years by the time that all came down.
A long time.
They should have had planned for that a long time before that. So I don't really feel bad for the NCAA or any of that other stuff, and I don't feel bad for them for what the players, for the power that the players have. Because again, I've said this a bunch of times. I've said this a bunch. They didn't make any of these damn rules. The players didn't make a single rule. So I don't really care whether they like it or don't like it. So KJ Golded asks, is the future of college football two large conferences like the NFL, or is it the bigger, richer programs having better financial opportunity by going independent and picking up individual sponsors? Independence is not it. I know that everybody's talking about that right now because of Notre Dame. Notre Dame is their own thing. They're one of the
been their own thing since forever.
Correct. But they're also one of the very few programs in college football that could run their program the way that they do.
Because they've been doing it for so long. I mean, you can only do that in football because the basketball had to get in a conference. They had to go get in a conference. So you can they've been doing this since the beginning of time. And Notre Dame got good money, guys.
Yeah.
They got great deals. So if they get in a conference, they lose money. But that's not the situation. That's
also a bigger brand than almost it's also a bigger brand than almost any of the rest of them.
Right. So if OU or Ohio State just said, okay, I'm gonna step back and do the biggest schools in the country can't do what Notre Dame does because Notre Dame has been doing it for so long. You just can't step in there and just do exactly what they're doing. Man, I get it. I've been hearing that for what? Ever since that statement came out about how much money Notre Dame pocket didn't have to share with anybody else. But man, everybody want to grab something new, but I do think that like the NFL model with two different AFC, NFC, whatever you want to call it, man.
That's built for parity. That's built for parity, though,
I've heard college coaches say that's coming within the next 4 or 5 years. About 45 teams.
I could see that happening, but I wouldn't call it parity. By the way, I wouldn't, because I'm going to tell you again. What you see from revenue share is one thing, right? The NIL is basically untouchable. And you don't unring bells. You know what I mean?
People don't understand the difference, though, Jason. When people say NIL, if you want to really talk about what NIL is not exactly what the kids are getting. The kids are getting collective money.
Yeah.
They're not getting the NIL money. Let's take Alabama when we
but the collectives are also off limits at this point. That's the point I'm making. And so I don't see that really changing. And they may put some kind of rules into place that are going to try to limit what you can do with that. But good luck with that, because the college football, they've been cheating forever. This is you've been paying players for a long time, the best players and stuff like that. So when it comes to recruiting the best players all the way around, it's gonna take those teams that have the most money are going to continue to be able to offer that amount of money. And again, Michigan was somebody that said they expected just their NIL dollars to be in the 50 millions by 2026. So a year from now, it's going to go crazy, right? And that's more than double. Now you're looking at it's 20.5 right now is the number. So it's just going to get bigger. But I would say that I don't know that you can I think that just get ready. What everybody should get ready for is that no matter what anybody's saying and what we're hearing and stuff like that, there's going to be some changes that are going to make it once again unrecognizable in this sport before too long, I think.
Well, Jason, if you go back to when I first started my little travel team and we were taking the kids to a college football game, man, it wasn't, I mean, it was 25 to 35 bucks to get you, get you in the ball game. You know, that won't get you in the ball game now. So the ticket prices and everything else, these stadiums have been growing, the facilities have been getting better. And who you think been paying for that? You know what I'm saying? So, and you're just paying for a little bit more now. And some of that money is going instead of the stadium. Right now, people not worried about, what kind of locker room you got, what kind of this you got. That was 5 years ago, man. That was a big thing. Organs, their whole deal. Kids don't care about that now. They want to know how much they're going to get paid. So that same money that you was putting into that stadium, into all this glamorous stuff, now you're just putting it into the pocket of these kids.
That's right.
That's what you're doing. Yeah. Kids don't care about all that, man, all that glamorous stuff anymore. They don't care about that.
That's not even what Joe C said yesterday. One Oklahoma they put One Oklahoma in place so that they'll still be able to funnel money through the school through One Oklahoma. There's always going to be a collective. Believe that. That's not going away.
No, it's not
going away. This just allows all that executive order does is allows the school to put their hands on some of this money and use it as needed. Mm-hmm. Right? That allowed them to compete with Ohio, the state of Ohio, and Georgia right now. Because they're the only two other states that were doing anything similar to this. Mm-hmm. Oklahoma,
I think it's a great move, man.
Yes, they had to do it to stay up with the big boys. You better do it and believe that that's what they did. Mm-hmm. That's all that has to do with it. It's not going to change anything big. It's not going to give it. He gave a full interview, and the interview, he didn't say a thing about One Oklahoma going to be gone in a year. He was acting like, no, that's a big deal for them to be able to have them, because that'll still be that arm where you can. Now, what the biggest change it does, I think it's going to allow more people to put into the situation, because they can give it directly to the school. Giving it through One Oklahoma, it's going to be tax deductible for people that are giving money towards the NIL and stuff.
And that's been a big thing about the tax deductible.
Absolutely.
That's been a big thing. So now you open up another door for, hey, some of your biggest donors out there, man, that, hey, need that tax deduction, man. Hey, I need to give away $2 million. Well, I got a place where you can give it to. Mm-hmm. And now you get that write-off from it. So, man, that's a game changer. It's like, I remember when we first went to a 501(c) with my travel team, we was trying to get donors and everything, man. But when they found out, hey, if they give us 500, they can get a little tax break. I mean, that changed the game on a whole lot of different things. So, yeah, that's big to have that tax break thrown in there so people can actually get
those big donors
money back,
Especially those big donors. A lot of them are doing that because they have to pay out big taxes and stuff like that. So if you give away a tax deductible thing to it makes sense for a big donor to do that and give it to their school rather than giving it to the IRS when they can write it off like that. You know what I mean? And it definitely would help. But yeah, you got to take a look at what that is. I mean, in the end, and I would just tell you this, everything that a lot of the stuff that we saw or what I heard from Joe C was with the way that he felt like it was headed in this direction or that direction, whatever. I don't know that we know the full extent of how things are going to change over the next few years. I think that they have an idea of where they're headed and where they want to go. But again, a lot of that is going to depend on, if you talk about collectively bargaining things, then you're actually going to have the players having say in it, some of it, because it has to be agreed upon. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It's something that has to happen. So I don't know, man. I think that I would just say one thing's for sure. don't expect this to really look like it does today, 2 years from now. In fact, maybe not even so much 1 year from now, because there's going to be continue to be things that, that absolutely change and alter the face of college sports as we know them today, right?
Yeah, and also, Jason, you people don't realize what we see right now. This thing has been changing for 10 years, guys. It hit a what you want to say, just hit a turbo boost. Is all that happened, and now you have more podcasters. Now you have more information. You can see things that are going on. This thing started, years ago. Like you say, it stayed in the courts forever. And then when it first came out, really when it first came out, Jason, people didn't know what to do with it, because when we went to Alabama, when they were first talking about it had passed and when nobody talking about it, Nick Saban had a store set up.
Mm.
And he took us in that store, and everything in that store went to the team. It didn't make no difference whether your jersey, whether your name was on the jersey or whatever. It was set up for the football team. If you bought that merchandise, that whole store went to the team. You could get a kid's custom jersey made. Game time, you can go in there and get a jersey made and wear that jersey to the game. So that's name, image, and likeness right there. That's
Sure.
not and that's what it was originally set up to be. And
Sure,
like you
sure.
said, they fought
Endorsements, actually getting money for what,
right.
you having an actual exchange of goods, basically.
Yeah, it's change of good. That's exactly what it is. And
Right.
now you have so many people. They misuse the word because everybody look at it like that. I mean, you talking about, you got like Drew Rosenhaus. You got guys like him that stepped in, and guess what? They're stepping in to muddy the waters, bro. They're stepping in to muddy the waters. So the the sooner these colleges get a hold on it, and a kid can negotiate, and his parents can negotiate without having some of those outside guys to better, it's for the betterment of the program, for the betterment of the kid, and for the
Sure.
better of the families, and for the betterment of college football if you work
Mhm.
it in the right way. And I see some things happening. It's the wild, wild west right now, but I see some things. I see the walls closing in, Jason. I think the
There's
walls are
gonna have to
closing
be
in.
some kind of regulations. I don't think
Yeah.
that you can continue to not have regulations of any kind. I think that you're not gonna see I don't know that you see it until you turn it into I think what Benji's saying, I don't think Texas is willing to go that high. Are you shitting me, Benji? I mean,
You know,
because we're talking about the guys that were out there with fucking Lamborghinis outside of the damn thing at when they're doing recruiting weekends. So give me that bullshit.
yeah.
They're not willing to go that high. As the $30 million war chest is OSU, get out of here with that shit. We know better and I know better. Get out of here. Now, here's what I would tell you. Are they going to continue paying this kind of money for guys that haven't done anything or proven anything on the field? No. No, they're not. I think that there will get to be a point where boosters, they didn't get rich by just throwing money down the toilet. You know what I mean? They just didn't do that. But
Mhm.
Neilio's asking the question, when is the breaking point of a ceiling being hit? Meaning, when does the money hit its maximum? It's never going to hit its maximum. Just like the NFL continues to get more and more and more and more and more. The salary cap goes up all the time. The salary cap will continue going up here as the money continues to rise. It all depends on how much, when does
Inflation steadily going up every day, guys.
right.
you know, I mean, I remember back in the day when you made $20 an hour. That was a damn good job, man. Now it's
Yeah.
just you barely making it now with $20 an hour. So
Angie, there's
every
no such thing as a free anything. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Stop it with that shit,
Man,
knucklehead.
that's crazy. But everything costs, man. You go
Everything.
from vehicles costing 30,000 to $100,000, man. So everything in life, if you just look at it over the last 20 years, have inflated to the roof. And you're saying when the price of these cars going to go down, and they steadily going up. You
I
said
would
people
just
not
tell
going to pay for the cars; they're
sure,
steadily going up. So
right.
I mean, it's just life. It's something you got to deal with. And people are fans of college football, and if it's something they like, guess what? They're gonna pay for it.
The product has to be careful too, because when fans grow exhausted from programs and players demanding more and more and more, it'll create real apathy. But will it though? Because here's the thing: you continue to see in the NFL these players. You got a lot more players that hold out than ever did before, and they want new contracts before their contracts up. These, I think, is the game is going to continue. Here's what I would tell you though. Here's what in the end, what I would tell you is that I don't think it's going to be a whole lot different for everything for all the changes that you see. It's really kind of staying the same. And that's what I've been saying is that I believe that you're still going to have the haves and the have-nots. And the have-nots don't automatically, they're not bringing you up. If you are under the impression that all the changes to college football are for the effect of having it all be equal, it isn't. It isn't. It never was. It never was.
Mm-hmm.
The big boys are going to continue to have more money to spend on players, and they'll funnel it through whatever means they have to do it in order to win the arms race. The arms race is what it's all about, and it's going to always be about that, players.
Yeah,
Now, it'll always be somebody that's going to pay more. And if you're going to sit here and try to tell me, Benji, that Texas is going to quit playing the game with the most money and using their money to get what they want, you got to be kidding me.
yeah, that's not going to happen.
You got to be kidding me, bro.
Texas is going to play the money game. They're a money school.
Of course.
They were one of the first schools to ever give a coach a really big buyout. So
donors want freaking trophies, not their name on buildings. They're getting that anyways. Fuck out of here with that, dude. You need to wake up a little bit, bro. I can see why you haven't been here in a while. You still butt hurt over last week. Come on, bro. Come on now. This is silly talk. Inflation doesn't justify the huge cost. Most of the rise in cost is the company taking advantage due to a monopoly. I don't know exactly what you're talking about here, Chrissy, but I'll just tell you that these things are going to continue to grow. Look, you think if Ohio State, for instance, just went to 30 million right now, right? We're talking about 30 millions in their war chest to do what they got to do with NIL right now. And this year is the start of rev share. Okay. Michigan's talking about going to 55 plus next year in NIL money, not rev share, NIL money. It's not their all in, it's plus the rev share. So how many of you people really believe that Ohio State isn't going to pay the same damn amount to make sure that they can continue getting players that are better than the ones that go to the team up north? Because we all know different. And just like that, same with Oklahoma and Texas. Texas has always spent more. They will always spend more. But by how much? Not a whole lot. You can't afford to allow it.
Yeah, you have
and
to.
Now you're competing with those other folks too. I mean,
you have to come to a point where the kid that you're recruiting,
sure,
every kid don't go to the highest bidder. We didn't go to the highest bidder. You heard Big Dave said that they didn't go to the highest bidder. So quit thinking that every kid is on the team because that school can give them the highest amount of money. That's the biggest lie that's ever been told. That's a hell of a lie. We could have took more money to leave. We didn't. Dave, he was telling you the kid turned down a whole lot of more money. So that's what these fans think. They think every kid that's on this team, he's at the school that's going to pay him the highest amount of money. You only have a select few that's doing that. That I want to say 85 to 90% of that roster is kids that want to be at that school. You got to get those type kids, and you got to You got to have a GM. You got to have a head coach. You got to have a AD that's willing to work together and say we got to get the best kids that we can get to put on this field. And you just got to know, man. It's like BV say, it's got to be the right fit. Every 5-star kid that got a 5-star behind his name is not going to change your program. But guess what do? You pay them out the ass to come.
Yeah.
But they don't change your program right away. They don't.
Yep.
So, you gotta quit thinking that every kid on Ohio State roster, Michigan roster,
Oregon, whoever
roster is they're getting the max amount of money that they can get, because that's a lot. Because some of those kids can go other places and get more money.
Sure. But look, it's just that's such the easy way to go about it. It's like, and you just brought it up. Big Dave said the other day, if Mateo wanted to leave, he could have gotten a lot more money elsewhere. We know that for sure. Mm-hmm. Same goes with Isaiah. I'm sure that Big Mike and them have gotten, and neither one of those kids have played a lot yet, but they've probably both gotten offers just because they were at Oklahoma. Danny Stutzman and those guys talked about it last year. Even the guys that weren't playing at OU got better offers to go elsewhere just because they came to Oklahoma. The same is going to be true everywhere throughout and this is why I would tell you that this isn't going away anytime real soon. I think that there's going to get to a point where donors are going to decide that, okay, there's only so much we're going to do. But when there's an opportunity to get that one guy that's going to put you over the hump and win a national championship, somebody's going to be willing to pay for that. And those guys are out there. Those guys are out there year after year. So if you just think that it's going to go away, it's not. I think that in the end, I think that there's a line we got to be careful with as far as like cutting off the ability to play for it or whatever, or have, I guess, access to it would be the biggest thing. But I think that what you're seeing is the access is there. And right now, I've seen people that I definitely respect in this business that really believe that just having the playoff at 12 or 16 teams and giving more access to the teams within, say, the Big 12 is going to be helpful for the Big 12 and the ACC. I tend to disagree with that because I think that if you add more teams, if you go to 16, let's say you go to 16 right now, and so that adds another guaranteed team for the Big 12. That adds another guaranteed team for the ACC, right? So they're both going to be at 2. That means that you're going to add guaranteed teams for the SEC and the Big 10 also. The more that you see that happen, and then you have that discrepancy in the amount of money that is there. At some point, you're going to look, okay, so $20.5 million is all we can do when we're making $40 million more than them every year? No, they're going to find places to funnel that money to and ways to do so. And right now, you also have to realize that all these things that are happening from state to state, these 3 states, Ohio, Georgia, and Oklahoma, have made these have these executive orders that have come across from the governor. That's all. That the rest of the states don't enjoy that ability to do that. This is what I'm saying. We can sit here and act like everything's going to be uniform, but it ain't uniform now. They're having to adjust and try to get it there. And that's going to take and not all these states are going to be as willing to do these things as Oklahoma, Ohio, and Georgia are. They're just not.
You got states like Illinois, man.
They're not going to do that shit. California, I think it's supposedly on the books there, but who's to say? There's a lot of crazy shit going on in California right now that college football may not be at the top of its list of importance.
Not at all. Not at all. So, man, we're in a good position right now at OU. I really feel like we're in a really good position. Sure. And I'm glad to see our administration in the state working with the governor and going forward. This is something that was going to help us in the long run, being at the forefront. When you're at the forefront of something, it always helps you. Johnny come lately, he never catches up. He never catches up, So, like I said, I think this is a great thing. I'm glad Joe C explained everything. Cause me as a parent, man, I know a lot of things, and I get a chance to see contracts and everything. But what he said yesterday kind of explained to me, and I didn't even know about it until to Mike. He sent it to me, and I got a chance to watch it last night. I went over it a couple of times. First couple of times it was kind of fuzzy. First time it was kind of fuzzy. I went back over it again. Then I kind of understood the lingo and everything he was talking about. So it was great footage. If anybody hadn't watched it, they need to go check it out. I can't remember what show it was on, but it was
KREF had it.
KREF, yeah, it was on KREF. So anybody really want to know exactly what we talking about, hey, go over there and check that out, man.
Yeah, I was going to say shout out to KREF and them for having that conversation. I think it was a smart conversation to have. I think that there'll be more to come down the pike, though. I think that there's going to be some things that are going to happen, but I do believe that. So what they're talking about, and let's see, Duke Silverstone, he says now we're able to use our athletic revenue to contribute to One Oklahoma. No, we're able to use school athletic revenue to directly pay players from the school. So it's One Oklahoma can put its revenue through Oklahoma, the school. So they can work directly with the school. And that would allow for, a lot of your stuff right now has a big tax deductible. If you're making those donations to the NIL fund, it will be now because they'll put all of that stuff directly through the university. That's the difference.
It's gonna be huge. People don't realize how much that's going to help. They just don't realize it, but they'll see. It's coming. I promise you that.
Right. Let me see if I can find that from where I watched it yesterday, and I'll drop that link in there for you guys. Second. Should be right in here. Yeah, here it is.
I can send it to you if you need me to.
I got it right here.
Okay, cool.
I found it.
You got everything. I was watching. I forgot who the heck I was watching yesterday, but it was talking about Beck from Georgia going to Miami, and it was they were just down and everything that's happening with the portal, and you got your people out there they just haters in the sport, and they just really haters. But hey, man, I'm glad the NFL. What is the NFL going to do now? I wonder, are they seeing fewer people enter the draft since this thing? I would love to know what the numbers is, and that because if you don't have Miami sitting there with all that money, he goes into the draft, So I wonder how is this affecting the NFL? With guys staying in college a little bit longer. Whatever the situation is. Is it a good thing for the NFL? Is it a bad thing? Are guys getting to play longer in the NFL because you're not having guys come in and push them out? I would love to know what those numbers are.
I would think that the players themselves are fine with that because I believe that the 3-year rule that you got to be 3 years removed from high school was definitely a rule that was made. They talk about it. Your body's ready for the NFL at that point, which I agree with that to an extent, but don't get it twisted and think that it didn't have something to do with collective bargaining as well. These guys only get so long in the league as it is. And I think that, you don't want these kids that are going to come in and take your spot coming in too fast. Right. So I think that they've got it the way they have it. But I think as far as the players are concerned, I would guess that they're happy with it. And because it allows them more time, to kind of, because look, we know the NFL stands for not for long as it is, you know what I mean? And you could wash out immediately, but it'll give you more opportunities, I would think, just in view of the fact that, somebody like Carson Beck can make more money to go to Miami and improve his draft stock or whatever. I think that you're going to see more of that, but
I don't
I
know
don't
about
know.
improving his draft stock. I don't think he's that good.
He's gonna have to. Yeah, well,
yeah.
he could also screw it up too. I think that once you get that grade, I've always said, I would say that Nussmeier's making a mistake. He's got a first round draft grade. When you get a first round draft grade, time to go.
You go.
And he's staying according to everybody. So to me, I don't know what he's thinking. I don't know what he's thinking there. When you got a first round grade, you got to leave. And because I mean, we saw it with Landry Jones. He had a first round grade, stayed around, and ended up going late in the fourth the next year.
Yeah,
you know.
Man,
And
I
mean,
that. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah,
I remember that, man. That's crazy.
Yeah. It protects the dumbass players who think they're league ready, but got bad advice because they really ain't.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that, though. I kind of agree with that. I wouldn't put it like that, but yeah, you have a little bit of a point right there.
No doubt. No, I think that in the end, you have to realize that all this stuff is. I don't think any of it is bad for the players, to be honest. I think this is all good news for the players, no matter how you look at it. The fact that they can get paid, the fact that the JUCO rule, I think that we haven't talked to any about that this morning, but you've said it before. This changing the JUCO rules where it doesn't count against your eligibility to play at Division I in the NCAA, really. It looks like it's going to be headed more in that direction where it doesn't matter. You could play your 2 years and it's like starting again, making it a prep school. I think that's the rising tide that kind of lifts all the boats when it comes to college football.
My nephew just went through that. My sister dropped him off Sunday, and he had the opportunity to go play at FCS, and 1G5, which came a little bit later on, and probably because they missed out on a guy. And my nephew only been playing football for 2 years. He was a basketball kid that I finally got him off the basketball court and got him on the football field. So he didn't have a whole lot of film, but he's going to one of the better JUCOs in the country. And that's what sold my sister was, look what our guys have done in the past. Look what we're heading right now. You come here, you play 1, you play 2 years, you still got 4 years to play. So you're making yourself more valuable coming out as a JUCO player than you were coming out as a high school player, because you'd have been in the program for 2 years. And he lost a couple scholarships to kids that were JUCO kids. And one of the scouts told me personally, he said, Marcus, the only reason why we're not taking him, we want him, we like him. The linebacker, 6'2", running a 4.5 40, 215 pounds, he can run. But we're going to take this JUCO kid for the simple fact that he's been in a college system.
Sure.
He said, outside of that, if they were both coming out of this same JUCO, we'd take him in a heartbeat. And my sister, it took her a while to understand that. But that's what you have going on right now. So I'm doing a camp for a buddy of mine at a JUCO, an unsigned senior camp. We're going to probably have the flyers up tomorrow or whatever. But he is going after kids and saying, look, come play for me. And his pitch is, don't go to the FCS. You can go to the FCS out of here and still have 4 years. You go there, you're going to start your clock. So come play for me for 2 years. We got just as much, little collective money if they got at that FCS. So come play here.
Yeah.
The JUCOs have NIL, guys. Believe it or not.
Everybody does. Everybody does.
So I mean, it's a game changer. You're gonna keep kids in the system a little bit longer. So if you keeping these kids in the system a little bit longer, then the guys in the NFL have a chance to stay a little bit longer also, because you don't have somebody pushing them out,
the way that it's set up in the league right now. And think about this. This goes back to who were the last guys that got there was no limit to how much you could get as a draft pick.
Man,
that was a while back.
Yeah, that was a while back.
This is a while back. So they're slotted. So you really don't make the big money. They've set that up where the NFL does. It's better for the NFL now. So the reason that and it definitely right now you're looking at if you're getting close to that second contract, which is either 4 or 5 years, depending on in the first round, the team has an option for a 5th year, right? If they draft you in the first round, they get an option for a 5th year. But that's the max on it. So when you're approaching that, so we're talking about Landry, and yeah, I kicked you out for that Landry comment there, Benji. Don't be ain't no Landry strays coming around this damn joint. But when you start looking at Landry, got to that point where he hadn't played a whole lot because Ben Roethlisberger is a guy that played through injury throughout his whole career, and quarterbacks, generally speaking, they're not going to sit out very long because they know they can lose their job quickly. Right. Exactly.
The Drew Bledsoe deal, bro. It started it all.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's when you used to hear, well, you're not going to lose your job to an injury. Bullshit. You will lose your job to an injury. But that's the point. But when you get to that point of, okay, at the end of that 4 years, he hadn't really had an opportunity. He'd had a few times where he'd gone in. He didn't blow the world up and set it on fire as far as, being in for a game or so, 2, 3, 4 times that he did in that four years that he was in Pittsburgh. So when you don't do that, then you become expendable for sure because your second contract comes up. That's when you can get really paid. And even a backup quarterback in the NFL is getting a lot of money. Just like we talked about the same deal with these kids at this level, that you have to pay Hawkins just nearly as much as what you're paying Mateer as well. Yeah, the money's got to be similar. Otherwise, your drop-off is going to be big.
Real big.
Huge, right? So the way they look at it is because of their salary cap and all that other stuff, they have to, it really limits the amount of time you have. Your window is very small when you get to the league, particularly the lower you are as a draft pick. If you're a 4th rounder, you got this long. You know what I mean? If you don't make it, you have to have shown something that you're ready to be a starter at that point, or else you just cost too much to keep on anybody's roster. When he went and he was with the Raiders, I believe right after that, and Gruden loved him, but they had too much money invested in Carr. They had to go ahead. He didn't make it through there. He was a cap casualty from then on out. Wasn't that Landry couldn't play. It's that he hadn't proven that he could play well enough to get the amount of money that you're going to get. If you think about where that's what that means for this too. The league would much rather replace you with cheaper guys on their rookie deal. You know what I mean? Much rather do that. It's less money that they got to spend. Every time they can replace, that's why the draft is so important to them, and they keep it centered around their draft for a reason. Because as a rookie, you get slotted as to how much you can make. There's no negotiating it, or there's small negotiations, but it's within the realm of this amount, right? You can't go over a certain amount. There's a salary cap for rookies.
Yeah, and a lot of guys are pushed out simply because I'm a 5-year guy, and a 5-year guy has to make this minimum, and I can go get a rookie, and y'all about the same. You're a 2nd or 3rd string guy. I'm hoping I don't have to get down that low, but I pushed this guy out, and he might be a little bit better. Of course he is. He's a little bit more seasoned, but they pushed that guy out because he's been there 5 years.
Yeah.
And
no doubt.
You have to pay him a minimum.
I want to say it's like $4 million a year.
Huh?
I think it's like $4 million a year for a backup quarterback. Right. It's like the low end, on your 2nd or longer, once you're a veteran.
Correct. I mean, it's crazy, man.
That's also when you become vested, fully vested in retirement as well, which it may not seem like a lot of money, but when you've got the amount of players that are going to be vested in that down the road, that's huge for the league as well. They've set that up in that way that if you don't make it that long, then they're never going to allow you to, or you got to make it to a certain level before you can get fully vested for any of their retirement and their.
And you got to think, Jason. They look at that. It's just like a player. It's just like Shannon Sharp was talking about one year. He needed, I forgot what year it was, but he needed like 100 yards to get his money, and he like they didn't throw me the ball.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he had to get that in the regular season. And soon as the playoff came, they know what they're doing.
Yep.
They know what they're doing. So, it's all about money when it comes to, these rosters in college. And it's all about money in the NFL. We're moving toward college football being a minor league of just like you got minor league baseball, you got minor league football, and there's college football. And it always has. It's just the kids just never got paid for it.
Not all the kids. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I mean, you always had the bagman, bro. Come on. And the bagman still lives. I don't care. You got all this stuff on the table. The bagman, he's still delivering, bro.
What's up, Rob? Yeah. Yeah. I mean, each school can allocate a portion of its revenue to a designated pool for athlete compensation. That isn't including the NIL, though. That's the whole thing. Is the NIL is going to be over and above that. And what they'll never be able to – they're going to continue trying to do what they can to limit some of that. And I think that you have to try to do that as far as collectives are concerned. I don't know exactly where that's going to end up, how that ends up being. But I do know that every time that they've tried to say, okay, yeah, we're going to do it this way. And I mean, I heard that from Josie yesterday on that show. But I would tell you that they've said a lot of these things are going to happen, that you're not going to be able to move, and you can only move once than it was. Now they know that you can't restrict their movement at all because it messes with their ability to make NIL money. Mm-hmm. So in the end, there's still going to be ways that they can go about that. There's still going to be these companies, like if you look at like the car dealerships there in Norman, they're really smart about the way that they've used kids from the softball team and the football team in order to be able to funnel money to them, and they're doing commercials and stuff. That's all you have to do is show that you're actually doing work for the money that you're getting in some way, marketing, and then they're able to do it. So you can act like it's just going to make it, even across the board. It's not. It's just not.
Man, I tell you, I'm going to give you a little short story, man. I remember back in the early 90s, I had some buddies of mine that played at Mississippi State, and those guys had a job, and they were working at a car lot. So they was like, hey, man, it was one weekend. They was like, hey, man, come on, go with us. I'm like, man, I'm going down there. Dude, they went down there, and they vacuumed out like 2 cars. It's like, man, that's all y'all gonna do? Said, nah, man, we're good. They vacuumed out a couple cars, man. We was there 30 minutes, and they was getting a check. It wasn't NIL, it wasn't legal, but that was a job that they were on payroll that they were getting money for. And because the guy was not a booster, he was a big fan of Mississippi State, but he wasn't an alumni. It wasn't illegal because they just had a job. But that job paid them $50,000 for vacuuming out a couple cars on the weekend, man. So hey, look.
What happened with Rhett Bomar though too? He got busted doing it. They overstepped a little bit there with Rhett. Yeah, and he wasn't showing up, and like there wasn't. Yeah, they busted him on that one. But
come on, man. It's been.
I argue that shit would have never happened had it not been for they weren't very happy with Rhett. You know what I mean?
Yeah, when you getting something like that, when you getting a sweet deal like that, everything, all your cards better be on the table. You better be doing the right things that you're supposed to be doing in the program. Yeah. If not, it's some bad gonna happen.
Yeah, Dodge and Norman does it. Yep. They're gonna be there forever. That's always gonna be. And there'll never be a time. I just want to tell everybody, I believe this and know this to be true, that as long as I've covered college sports and seen some of what goes on behind the scenes, and that's only some of it, but you know what's happening. Yeah, you know what's happening. So in the end, you start looking at it, okay, well, these things are going to continue to happen. It's not going to change because believe me, the big guys aren't just willing to just, okay, yeah, let's make it fair for everybody. That's not what this is ever going to be about. That's
It's
not
never going to be fair for everybody. I don't care what the situation is, man. This is life.
Yeah.
Your life is not fair.
Yeah, fair is where they judge pigs. You know, they judge pigs. They judge pigs at the fair, man. You know what I mean?
That's right. That's exactly right, man. But like I say, I think we're headed in a great direction, man. And man, hats off to Joe C for letting everybody know, kind of giving everybody. He didn't have to do that, man. But it was really cool that he did. You know.
Well, but it's good for it's not just telling this fan base. It's telling everybody around the country that, look, we're at the cutting edge of this. This is where you want to be. You know, we're right there where Ohio and Georgia are, and we can get you the money ahead of time, and we can get you what you need in a different way. We're gonna make sure that we're ahead of this for our athletes. It's a big move on their part. Big move by the state of Oklahoma, without a doubt.
Yeah, it definitely is, man. You know, the only next step that I want to see in all of this in college football is, I know they have a program when you first come in the NFL and the NBA that actually you have to take, you know, when it comes to your finances and all that kind of stuff. That's something that I would really like the NCAA say, hey, look, you guys, you know, this is a class they have to take. And if they could do that, that'll help. I mean, that'll help free up some stuff, man, because a lot of these kids come back and ask for more money because hell, they done bloated, bro.
Yeah, sure.
And so they need more money. But if they knew how to make their money
manage
work for
their
them,
money, absolutely
manage their money, you probably wouldn't. Some of it, not all of it, but some of this would be cut down.
Well, this is what goes back to what we were talking about on your show the other night, is that these agents are also getting after these kids. Here's the thing. You got to realize that these kids are being preyed upon right now. Preyed upon. And if you don't have a parent like yourself and Big Mike who are involved in it and can give their kids good advice, because not everybody does. Some people, some parents don't have a clue about any of this stuff. How would they know? They weren't athletes growing up. They just don't know any better.
Well, dude, we had to learn on the fly.
That's right.
And I've been involved. I've coached high school football. I've refereed. I have my organization, 707 organization that I have had several. One year I had 21 kids go D1 out of my organization. So I've been around it. I've taken kids to, but this having to do it on your own and everything being brand new, I'm glad I went through it with Isaiah because I can help other families now.
Right.
But there's no blueprint to this, guys. There's no blueprint. I'm telling you that right now. If you think it's just like every recruitment is different, all these other situations is different, but there are some similarities that you can go by that will help you get through it. But back to what I was saying, you know, on the top of paying the players, I wish that, hey, look, the institution say, look, you got to take this finance class.
Right. It's got to happen. It's got to happen.
So, you know, we want to talk about that. And and actually, that's actually one of my shows coming up.
Good.
Talking about the financing and taking finance classes and different things like that, and limiting people, you know, like agents, you know, to get that kind of money and what you can save and how you can.
You got to find a way to get rid of that, because what we talked to, I think it's important to bring that back up. Or what we were talking about the other night is that you've got some of these agents that are taking just to go and set up the kids deal with the collective, which we know is not. It's not what NIL was intended to be, and it's not going and getting a brand deal, which, you know, that's what, you know, Big Dave was talking about. He goes, "Is the difference in going and getting a brand deal with Nike or Dr. Pepper or somebody like that?"
That's what the agent should be for. It shouldn't be for the collective. The agent should be for, hey, you go get
acting like the collective is the same thing as a brand deal, and charging them 20% to get that is robbing the kids.
Yeah.
And they're able to do it because they're able to do it. It's not their job to fuck these kids over. And There,
Well,
there's got to be some.
let me ask you this: can the state of Oklahoma come in and say, "Hey, you guys cannot, you can't do this"?
It's a good question. I would think that there's some. Yeah, there's probably got to be
Can that be
something to that.
I mean, because you got it right now where some states high school kids can't get in.
Possibility is that what they just did with One Oklahoma could address that in some way, right? With that executive order, it may have addressed that. I don't know really.
Yeah,
I
would love to know, man, just for the simple fact of seeing what could come out of this, because I do know an agent can get 20% of your marketing deal, and that's kind of what they're looking at.
But they're calling what they're getting from a collective.
Yeah, but it's not marketing.
Deal, and that's not what it is. No,
it's not. It's not a marketing deal. But I do know in the NFL you can get up to 20%. I can get up to 20% of your marketing deal, which is cool because he's giving you something that
they have to actually work for that. That's not the same thing, right?
Yeah, it's not the same thing. So, but they're getting high volume of money from these kids,
and every year too, because these are 1 year deals. Because these are 1 year deals,
right? Yeah. And they're getting that money up front.
Yeah. And how much are we also? We need to teach them how to manage it. Part of that's going to be taxes. These kids. How much did you know about taxes when you were 18 years old?
Not a damn thing. I was still, my mom and them was still claiming me, at that time.
Yep.
And then maybe 19 or something like that, I claimed myself because I had a little job. Even while I was in college, I had a little job.
Right.
But yeah, man, nothing. Didn't care anything about taxes until I got married. Then I kind of found out, okay, Uncle Sam.
It'll get you. Now, the one person that ain't gonna get unpaid is Uncle Sam. That's for sure. Right, he's not gonna go without his money. So that's the thing. I think there's some things that, rather than us worrying so much about who's going where and which, I mean, who's screwing over our program, blah blah blah. We need to think about these kids a little more in terms of the fact let's protect them from these people that are definitely continuing to try to use them to get rich, because it's always been this. It's always been this way.
Not only that, let's do this. They poison, and not all. I'm not putting everybody in the same boat. Sure. Because I talked to an agent just the other day, and I asked him what was, we talked about it. He said, "Man, I get anyone from 5 to 8%. That's not good, but that's a lot better than he only represent guys that's in the portal trying to go somewhere else. He doesn't do the high school guys. Because if you're in the portal, then you need somebody shopping and finding a school for you. It makes it a little bit different than a high school kid that already have 30 offers. Okay. So I think that something is going to have to deal with this, but the parent got to understand that you took this kid to all these camps, you took these kids to these junior days, right. You did all of this for a person to walk in and get $25,000-$30,000 from your high school kid that he couldn't get that from a professional. That's a problem.
Right. And they can do that on year to year, which a professional is like a 3-year deal at minimum, right?
Yeah. So get that so guess what? These kids are prey right now. It's like a lion going hunting. Okay, there's some easy prey over here. I'm not gonna chase. I'm not gonna go after this gazelle. I gotta run. I gotta sitting duck right over here. I'm gonna get the sitting duck.
Yep.
And that's kind of what it is. The kids are sitting duck, and we ain't gotta run after these guys. We just go walk over there and pick one up. And a kid, think about an 18-year-old kid. Man, I got an agent, bro. I got an agent, I mean, they feel big time. Sure. And they make them feel special.
Of course.
It's kind of like a pimp coming in.
Some of them are good to have.
And when the pimp first come in, he get the girl and, oh, baby, you're so beautiful. Baby, we can do this. We can make magic together, baby, this, that, and other. And then, boom, they put your ass on the track. So that's all it is.
Go from baby to bitch real quick. Huh?
You see what I'm saying? So it's a pimp game, bro. It's a
Go
pimp
from
game.
baby to bitch right now. Oh, damn. You're talking pimps and hoes now. Shit, what just happened? It happens in every walk of life. Look, the point that I think the point we're trying to make in all this is the fact that you've got to teach these kids how to become. We're calling them adults now. We're calling them pros, but we need to give them the tools to where they can take care of themselves, to where they do know the real. They've got to learn. We've got to teach them the real deal immediately.
Definitely, man.
Right.
Definitely, man. That's something that needs to happen. That's something that the universities need to.
It needs to be all part of it, just like
that need to be a part of it. Just like we got the Soul Mission, and Soul Mission does a part of that. Now, I'm gonna say they do all of that. The finance part of it. You anything that you want financial. You learn how to move your money. They have that in place, but it's not a mandatory thing. But it needs to be a mandatory thing. It is that option is there for you. That's one thing that we liked about OU. That hey, look, you know, when Isaiah got ready to buy his truck, they wanted to know, okay, look, let's see, can you afford this? So what are your bills? So we actually went to talk to a financial, the financial lady
planner.
at school. Yeah, well, at the school, and she made sure that okay, with the money that you're bringing in, you can afford this. How much are you spending on, groceries outside of eating at the facilities and all that kind of stuff? So that kind of okay, look, you can afford this. You can't afford that, but you can afford this. So that's kind of how we did it. And I'm happy that Oklahoma has something like that in place. I don't know if other schools got it in place. They have to. Some have to. I know some that don't
have to. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
I don't know how many of them think that that's as big of an important deal, but I think that's all part of the Soul Mission too, is to empower these kids for the future, right? That's all what the Soul Mission's been about. So it makes sense to me that we're seeing that. I'm not necessarily concerned about Oklahoma kids so much.
No.
I'm talking about college, college football as a whole.
And that's something, man, I would love to get Big Dave back on here. We could actually talk about that. That's a whole nother show, man. But yeah, I mean, you're absolutely right. There need to be some accountability when you give an 18-year-old that kind of money to be able to do it.
Yeah. Quinn to the NFL officially, huh? Okay.
Man and Mania begins.
Yep, there it is. It's he just declared this morning.
But dude, here's the deal. He had to go. Manning was not
Big Bogue.
Yeah. Look what the cat that drug in. What's happening with you?
And call your team trash. That's what they are. Trash.
What's up, dog?
What up?
Going down.
Yeah, let me tell you something. I was getting a nice little pump in. You know what I mean? Nice little pump and nice little sauna sesh, and listen to y'all. Bloviate. You see that big word right there? Y'all like that, huh?
Bloviate?
Wow. Bloviate.
Oh man, look, he didn't say it down. Look at it, man.
I done trimmed it up. Hey man, I done trimmed it up. You know what I mean? I had to trim it up a little bit. That neck beard was getting out of control. I had to get rid of it.
Weighing him down a little bit. Weighing him down too much, man. It's weighing him down too much. What's up, man? What are you thinking?
Bro, I'm listening to y'all, man. And my picture crooked as hell.
Yeah, look at that. You've been raising hell in there. Look at you.
Here we go. There.
Take it off the wall. Just knock that.
Yeah, take it off. Look, I'm gonna show it to y'all. Look at the little baby boogeyman.
Yeah. There we go.
Yeah.
He was knocking shit off the wall then, huh?
Yeah. No, but I'm not for these agents in college. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I heard they're preying on the kids. I heard that. I agree with that. And I feel like the universities and schools, and I don't know how that is, like if you get in the portal, but like, they should still, try to look out for these kids, and not get fleeced out of 20% of their NIL, if they go to another school. And I'm not a fan of that, dude. Like those people out here, doing that, like there's a special place in hell for those dudes, in my opinion, man. And I ain't going for it. I'm gonna tell you that right now. I ain't going for it.
Yeah, man.
I mean, like let's say like let's be honest. Let's do easy math, right? I'm no mathlete, right? But let's say a kid gets 100,000 in the portal. You know what I mean? And let's be honest. Let's be light and say, agent's getting 10%. You know what I mean? Like that's, I'd be interested in to see how that, relates to an NFL dude, right? Where he's making, 400,000,
they only can get 3%.
and they get 3%. Like I like
the max. That's the max any NFL.
That's what I'm saying. That's crazy to me. And
you're making more money. You're making more money off of less money.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You making it about the same money as a kid that's getting 300, there's a kid that's getting 3 million.
So let's say an NFL dude. Let's say an NFL dude, right? Hold on, let me go back. I just messed this up. Let's say an NFL dude, right? Let's say he signs a $400,000 contract and the agent's getting 3%, right? That's $12,000, right? And a college dude in the portal, let's say he gets 100,000 or 100,000, and let's say the agent gets 10%. You know what I mean? That's almost the same amount of money. That's 10,000 of that 100,000 he's getting, and the NFL dude is making 4 times that much money as the college kid. It's wild to me, man.
So what?
And I ain't going for it.
So what they're doing, they're going after the college. They really, man, they didn't got where, unless it's a guy that's got a really big contract in the NFL, they would rather go get that college guy because he's going to make them more money because he got longer to play. Especially if he's a freshman, he got, 3, maybe even 4 years, maybe 5 years to play. And you can make more money off him than that guy that, that's a 5th round draft pick. They're probably not going to stay in the NFL but 3 years. So your loan money is on the young horse, not the old guy. You see what I'm saying? So that's what's happening right now. Hey, look, we're going young. Because young mean longevity, and that's what they're looking at right now. So when you have that going on, you got guys that are getting. I know one dude getting 30%. That's unheard of.
Yeah,
I can't do the 30 deal, man. I can't do that. If you came to me and said, "Hey, Marcus, I want to represent your son. I want to get him a marketing deal for $400,000 with this dealership over here, or Dr. Pepper or something like that." Then guess what, bro? We can sit down and we can talk because that's a marketing deal. Because in the NFL, you can get to 20 to 25% is what the collective bargaining allow them to get for a marketing deal. I'm fine with that because that's outside of my football plan. If you go get me a Nike contract, Gatorade contract, or whatever the situation is, then I'm cool with that. I'm good with the agent handling that part of it. But handling the part of what you're getting from the collective, all you need is to hire an attorney.
Those deals are much harder to come by.
Listen, but that's what I'm saying. So, like, knowing what I know now, right? Like working with Oklahoma and One Oklahoma, bro, you don't need an agent to do the NIL thing.
Yeah.
And parents that maybe the dude's from a single parent home, right?
Yeah.
And maybe it's worth it from them to do it. You know what I'm saying? But like after that player,
right?
Yeah, after that player sits through if the agent lets him sit through the negotiation, which if I was one of these sleazebag agents, I wouldn't let him sit through the negotiation. I have nothing to do with it. Because once he finds out, he's gonna realize he don't need me as an agent, right? Because it's so simple. You know what I mean?
I think as an agent, you're better off to be transparent and show them that you are there for them, because you can fleece. You listen. I go by what I remember. The line from Rounders that I remember the most is that you can shear a sheep a bunch of times, you can skin them once, right? So if you care about your career as an agent, you got to do things above the table with your client.
Yeah.
You got
but
to.
but do you want him in the room with the representative that's in while you're negotiating?
No, some do and some don't.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Like I'm telling you, man, like the this phone call, after this first year of Mike and because listen, man, I done had plenty of talks with the man in the middle of the screen right now.
Yeah.
Right. We have had plenty of talks. And what did I say to you multiple times? I was like, I feel like we have to be ready to either take what we made last year or maybe a little less, right? Because in my head, like the numbers just wasn't adding up, right? Especially with new people coming in, the transfer portal, or how much the budget was. Like I just felt like it, like as a freshman, playing a little bit of special teams or whatever, getting a couple snaps here and there. And that's just how I felt about it. And, I was preparing my son for that and preparing myself. I was talking to Marcus about it. And, I asked, I know a few people, I got a couple connects, you know what I mean? So I started I started calling people and like, hey, you got a couple minutes? Like, let's talk about how this NIL works, you know what I mean? And getting, and, there's some places that do it different ways, some are incentive based, play based, and some are what you think you're worth, or what the university thinks you're worth. And it was really easy to us because Oklahoma and the collective made it easy. And it was
They made it real easy. It wasn't hard at all.
You guys both have players that are expected to be in the long-term plans of this staff.
Yeah. But even that, it was a deal where, hey, how you doing? Hey, look, want to get this deal done. Do y'all have an agent? And we was like, no. He said, I thought so. And
well, I didn't even get asked that question.
Yeah. Well, they asked me that, but at the same time, we worked that deal pretty quick. It wasn't really nothing, because one thing that as a parent, your kid got to go there every day, show up, do the right things. If you know your child is doing the right thing and you chose the right university, everything should go as the ebb and flow, and everything went as the ebb and flow.
But not everywhere is Oklahoma either.
And exactly, you taking the words out of my mouth. So, but at the same time, this man over here, he could have got more money. We could have got more money, because soon as I had somebody already was asking me, look, just let me know what Oklahoma's gonna do for him, and then hit me back. That conversation with people I've been knowing in football that's at other universities for years. They're friends of programs. So, it's not like, that a lot of people don't know who I am, because they do. And it's like, look, man, if y'all not cool with that number, let me know. We can do this, we can do that. Although that number that we end up selling with one Oklahoma wasn't as high as I know it 2 places, but the fit and what we want to do in the ceiling for him is there, and we're not going to move from that. So that's one thing I want to get to these people out here that's in these comments, and not just your comments, but everywhere. The kids are at these schools; they're not playing for the most money that they can get. Yeah. Not every kid is playing.
Some of them may be, some of them could be, but not all of them are. And Big Dave said it the other night on your show, whenever had him on, that Mateo could have made a hell of a lot more money by leaving Oregon than he made by staying.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, you're talking about a guy that led the Big Ten in sacks.
Mm-hmm.
You know, as a true sophomore, and this is a guy. He was doing that off the bench, by the way.
Correct.
You know, so he could have made a hell of a lot more money to go elsewhere. He likes where he is. He likes Coach Lanning. I think he even likes his defensive coaches. Clearly, he's enjoying where he is. So he stayed, gave them whatever you want to call it, a discount or whatever. But he also didn't have to go in there and have an agent with him because his pops is there. They understand the NIL landscape as well. It wasn't just about the NIL to them. They wanted to make sure, I believe, that that defense was centered around Mateo moving forward. I think more than anything else, I think that they wanted more playing time than they wanted, money, because they know that the real money comes in the NFL. No matter how you slice it, you're still going to get more when you get to the league.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And I think that when you think about Marcus, you think about what Isaiah's a tackle. That's the highest paid offensive lineman. He's the size of 6'7", over 300 pounds. He's got an opportunity to make a shit ton of money, more than most players will make in their career, unless you're a quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
It's quarterbacks and tackles. Those are the dudes that make the most money, right? So you have to be looking at it that way. You have to be looking at it that way.
It's a long-term deal, man. You got a lot of people, they look at, what's going on today, and you have to look at things for the long term, man. If you're a short-term mind guy, this whole deal will eat you up. And that's one reason why these kids are jumping from team to team. You get with these agents, and the agent is not there for you for the long term. They want you, if they can move you every year to get more money, that's what they're gonna do.
And here's my thing, right?
That's gonna be to me, that's a problem that's coming. And Mike, before you got on here, we talked about, when is the state going to regulate these agents, because they have to have no certification to be an NFL agent. Yeah, to be an NFL
and you know
agent,
what?
you have to be certified, man, by the NFPA. You don't have that.
I don't know if the states my aspect is, if it's going to happen, the NCAA needs to do that like the NFL does. Like, I'm not a big fan of states stepping in and putting more laws in place about it. You know what I mean?
When it gets to collective bargaining and you have a union or some way,
yeah, like I think that's the way.
That is where it's probably going to go down. But I do
because
think,
here's the deal. Here's what I think about it. Like the states, they don't have a clue. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
these dudes ain't in athletics.
It doesn't hurt for them to step in and say, okay, I think that you got to be careful, because not everybody has parents like you guys that know what you know and are able to be as strong of a president.
Program, right? Yeah, man.
Right.
That's so true. I've seen it.
Here's my thing. At the end of the day, you're making your NIL experience and the portal experience as difficult as you want to make it, or as easy as you want to make it. You know what I mean? Like, it's not. It's to me, it's based on you and what you do, right? Like, or or what your parents or agent does. Like, you can make it simple and yep, I feel like that's what I'm worth. Thank you for the money, and let's sign it. Or you can start haggling and be a pain in the ass and take your chances in the portal.
Well,
that's how I look at it.
Well, I don't think this kid being a pain in the ass all the time.
Marcus.
Well, hold on.
You don't think there's no kids being a pain in the ass?
Oh, there's a whole bunch of kids being a pain in the ass. I'm not saying all of them are being a pain in the ass.
No, I'm not saying that all. I never said all.
Yeah, you got some schools.
Two sides of the coin.
Yeah, I got you, but you got some schools that are ruthless too now.
Yeah, no,
you got some. I've got a kid right now that's going to play at a G5 that was a big time 4-star kid, and he got screwed on some BS. So that shit
I'm not saying
now.
that happens. In most cases, I'm saying it's what you make it. Now, sometimes them schools are going to not hold up their end.
Yeah, I can agree with that. But there are some cases, man, that kids get screwed or get caught up in the numbers or whatever your situation was, because that happens. That happens a lot. My program started my 707 started in 2016. It's 2025 right now. I got a bunch of damn kids that don't play college football.
What you doing for the 10-year anniversary, bro?
Huh?
Gonna do for the 10? What you doing for your 10-year anniversary?
Oh man, we rolling. Matter of fact, my team will be in Houston. No, we'll be in Dallas, Texas next weekend at a tournament. We start off next weekend, man. Getting it rolled. That same bunch went 29-1 last year. Lost in the semis to the national championship. And we got 5 this year. We ready to roll, baby. Yeah. So, hey, we ready to get it, man. We got on my 15U team already got 5 kids with P4 offers, and they 14 and 15 years old. So they ready to boogie, man. But even with those kids, I got parents that we're having to put in a van. I got kids that we're having to put in a van. They know nothing about what's going on. And guess what? Yeah, I try to tell them. You can preach to them, but some parents just don't get it. They got to go to work. I got parents that, hey, one work at Walmart, then she got to turn around, leave Walmart, and go work her second job just so she could pay, for her son to be on that bus, in which we didn't raise more than enough money, but you still gotta have a little skin in the game when it comes to that. So you got those parents is who I feel sorry for when this guy comes along and he got this fancy suit on and he start name dropping all these damn kids that he didn't help and how much money they made these kids. And then guess what? Guess what she gonna do? What's she gonna do? Come on.
Yeah. Hey, I'm about to take us off the train tracks right here because hey, what are you gonna do, Jason, when TikTok goes away next week? What are you gonna start clipping to, bro?
I only barely go on to TikTok as it is and clip to it. So I should have done more while I had the opportunity, but I don't think it's going away forever. I don't think it's going. I think that Mr. Beast already talked about stepping up and buying the shit. So
who is
Mr. Beast, who's the biggest YouTuber in the world?
Yeah.
So I would suspect that if it ain't him, it'll be somebody. So I wouldn't get too wild on that deal. TikTok, too many people want it around. I think that
everybody's already making the move to Red Note, whatever that is.
You know exactly what this has to do with. This has to do with the fact that the Chinese are the ones in charge of it.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Because they don't like that they're getting all of our information, and
and they're poisoning
that they're getting all of our information.
The youth.
Yeah,
their TikTok over there. Hey, their TikTok over there. The algorithms are different, and they only see good stuff and math and engineering,
educational stuff, shit that the kids don't give a fuck about.
Hey, Americans is like, what? Why am I seeing this? I don't.
It's not going to bother me at all if it goes away, bro.
Yeah,
I promise you. Man, you know what? It wouldn't bother me if you had to pay for Facebook.
Bro, I don't Facebook, all them shits. I don't give a damn.
Facebook's changing too.
I just need X/Twitter to stay relevant because that's my jam.
Yeah, you stay in them Twitter streets.
Twitter's the shit, bro. Shit.
It's not for sale. I don't know that it's necessarily for sale right now, but that doesn't mean somebody else doesn't step up and make that happen. I just would say that nothing's set in stone. I would just tell you,
money. Now, when it comes to money,
they're going to find a way. Somebody will step in there and make it happen. Mm-hmm. But if you look at what Facebook is changing a lot of its monetization things and stuff like that too, because of the fact that they know that they were on the wrong side, or I shouldn't say the wrong side.
They're on the wrong side now.
Wrong side of the government. Right now they were doing what. Absolutely. They were doing they were doing what they needed to do to keep Biden.
Ain't fooling nobody, bro.
That doesn't have anything to do with Facebook. With what Trump they want, though. Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, it was. I thought it was pretty funny what he said too. But I don't think that that's a bad thing. I think that whatever happens,
yelling and cussing at us.
Huh?
He said they were calling us and yelling and cussing at us to take stuff down.
Yeah, I heard that too. That was hilarious.
That shit was
hilarious. But those are things that you knew anyway from when Elon bought Twitter. That there were some things that were going on that were definitely not exactly cool. But I don't think that
Shady.
I don't think any of the shit is cool as is. You know what I mean?
No,
I think that there's a lot of things that go on social media that we could all do without. I don't think there's any doubt about that. But
yeah.
in
Yeah,
the end, I do think that I
don't think they should allow. Just allow.
What?
Uh-oh.
We got a frozen up. They
I'm
shouldn't
taking
allow
that picture right now. Let me get that picture.
Yeah, get your screenshot in.
Lord knows, the tables have turned.
Yeah.
The tables have turned.
He gone.
The tables have turned.
I got him on there. I gotta go.
Hey, did y'all see the Adrian Peterson Jr. highlight doing on Twitter?
I did not. We got you. We got you.
I got your ass, bro.
It's all good. You can send it to me.
Hey, little AP Jr. out here, class of 2030. Hey, he out there looking like his dad, running around looking like a fucking grown ass man with these little kids.
I'm telling
Crazy.
You, shouldn't surprise anybody. Super freak. Super freak. You got Greg, you got your Twitter permanently banned? What did you do? What could you possibly have done to get a Twitter account permanently banned?
He misgendered somebody.
That's crazy.
Okay, that's one of the things. If it's called dead naming. If you dead name somebody, right?
What is dead naming? Dead naming?
Like let's say if you called Caitlyn Jenner, if you called Caitlyn Jenner Bruce.
Yeah.
Yep.
That name is dead to him, and so it's a dead name.
Yep, stuff like that would have got you banned.
Something that they do?
No, not anymore. I don't think so anymore.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like Twitter the way it is now. I kind of like
it. I'd like to see people. I'd like to see dick pics.
Who said that?
Unfortunately, I don't think that'll get you banned. I don't think that'll get you banned.
I'm pretty sure it won't. I don't think a dick pic.
A lot of coaches would have been banned if that was the case.
Oh, Midnight Mail in the crew.
Oh, that's
what's
crazy.
that?
Yes, I might have went too hard in the paint.
Yeah.
Or like you were speaking out about COVID or like the COVID shot and
that'll get you. Oh, no doubt about it. But I think that for the most part, if it happened back then when all that shit was going on during the Biden administration, Elon would have overturned that by now because they did.
I think there's still some people that accounts are still. I think there were so many that got deleted. I'm sure there's some that are still are, and they might never got their account back because there's.
Yo, I had my Facebook account frozen twice.
Oh, dude, I used to like get on Facebook. I'm like, damn, what happened? Like all of a sudden, I got like this note, and I'm like, damn, what did I do? I don't even be on this thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, it was like, man, it was something I said that was in a joke that was not. I mean, and they just took the word and did what they wanted to do with it. Yeah. It's like you got.
I sometimes think I'm on shadow ban now, though. Even I don't even because there's a lot of stuff that just I've got 2,000 followers, which isn't a ton, but it doesn't feel like a lot of the tweets, and especially for what they are. Because I don't just troll tweet ever. So, but like even the amount of times that it's been shown, sometimes I look at it, I'm like, that doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. So.
Yeah,
I mean, maybe I do go a little hard whenever I start arguing with Texas fans and shit like that, or Okie Light fans. But
maybe Texas fans was calling Twitter and getting you fucking back. You know what I mean? Getting you shadow banned.
That happened to me.
Yeah,
that happened to me. Everything that I put up one time, I had this guy that we had kind of had a little beef and everything, and every time I would put something on the face, it was on one of my Facebook pages because I have 2 Facebook pages. Because one of them got 5,000 and the other one maybe got 3 or something like that. But anyway, every time I would put something up, man, he would report me.
Yeah.
And how I knew he was reporting me because we was all in a group. We was in this group. And finally, the admin was like, could see who was reporting everything. And he finally told me, hey, man, this motherfucker is doing it, you know. And so I kind of like, okay. And I hit him up. I was like, hey man, what's up with you reporting me, man? I ain't did this. He didn't realize the admin could see it. You see what I'm saying? So man, yeah, you got these little trolls that go out there and see your stuff, and they think your stuff is getting out a little bit farther than theirs. Then they that they'll push that button on your ass in a minute. You know.
Oh, well, people are damn jealous about other people on social media for fucking sure.
Oh yeah, man.
Sure. And Facebook, I think that it's as toxic as it possibly, particularly with college football fans. The Facebook groups that I've seen around, and I mean, I'm in a couple of them, but I hardly ever pay any attention to it because it's just, there's nothing real good going on. I like to hear from people that I think have good opinions, so I don't really.
But Jason, you know what Facebook needs to do compared to what Twitter does. When you go on Twitter, you go on and you say, I like sports, I like this, and I like that. Guess what? That's what's going to come up on your feed
a lot more. You can do that on Facebook too.
Man, but I don't. I got two. Like if I got Facebook on this phone and I got Facebook on this phone, I can pick them up the same. Facebook
Kevin Gates,
and you have totally different reads. Oh yeah, I got two phones.
God damn, bro.
I got two phones. I got a business phone and a personal
phone. For the business, huh?
You ain't about to get me in trouble.
Your wife know you got two phones?
Yes, sir. She got both of the passwords, bro. Hey, it is what it is.
People that are negative and voicing their opinion are the same ones that can't pay their own bills.
Hey, yeah, bro. Hey, look, hey.
Oh,
shit. What it is. I got to go out and do a little birthday shopping. She turns the big 5-0 tomorrow.
Oh, man. Damn, dude. You put her on blast like that over the internet?
On blast on the show, man? Damn.
It's going to be on blast tomorrow. What's the difference?
You put her on blast on my show.
Hey, shout out to Passion, though, man.
Shout out to Passion, man. Shout out to Passion.
Yeah,
congratulations. Happy birthday.
And we was talking, we talk about the NIL deal, and I was telling Jason, well, I might have been on the show we had the other night. Man, she had a co-worker of hers wanted her to sign a card, and she was like, "Where you get this card from?" She said, "I bought it off the internet." This was just a month ago, and this lady paid $300 for this little deal that she got with Passion.
Yeah, plenty money too,
dude. Check this out. They don't get a dime for that.
Wait, what now? What happened?
Like one of her coworkers bought this thing. She's a big Tennessee fan. The coworker is, and went online and bought this card like this, whatever it was. And it's a he. He brought it to school and said, "Hey, look, will you sign this or whatever situation was?" Pastor like, "Yeah, I like this. Where you get this from?" He said, "I just bought it off the internet," and showed her why he had bought it for $300.
eBay right there.
Oh,
look at Passion in the post.
How much? Hey. How much is that one?
Big baller.
$15.
Yeah, that was $15. They had a big one, but I mean, it's a lot of stuff for her out there, and they making money off of it, bro.
Mm-hmm.
So you think about all these.
That's hilarious.
Hey, Duke Silver Sooner's trying to get banned from every Texas account out here on my channel. I love him for it though. He's going hard at Benji and Chris about Texas. Woo, just taking it to him. Let's talk about that for a second though. Obviously, Quinn decided he's going to the league now. He's made it official today. Going to the league.
He's tripping.
You think he's tripping?
Oh yeah, bro. He need to go somewhere and get some money.
I think he's probably in the league and the money. I mean, any money in the league? You don't think?
I can't see him going top three rounds in the draft.
I can see him being in the third. I don't see him being in the top 2 rounds though.
No, I don't see it at all, man. And the only reason it might happen is because he's a quarterback. But I'm not sold. I'm not sold on Buddy, just like I ain't sold on Carson Beck. Like it's the people, it's the players around him that make him what he is. Mm-hmm. And I just don't see him as a playmaker, man. And I don't know. That's just my opinion. Maybe my hate for Texas is deep, but like, I don't know, man. I just don't see Ewers as
Okay, well, I'm you know I don't think a whole bunch of Quinn, pregame Prozac or nothing. So here we go. But I will say this.
Wow.
I will say this about it.
Oh my goodness.
A lot of guys are going to the league though. You've got a bulk of this team that Texas has had for the last couple of years is going to have gone to the draft or they're elsewhere. So you've got Arch coming in. Yes, I know they've got a good recruiting classes coming in. They've definitely recruited right up there. Here's the thing. What's going to end up happening to this Texas team? Did they just miss their window? I guess is the question. That's the argument that's going on now.
I believe they did. I believe they missed their window, bro. I think this should have been their year.
Yeah.
This should have been their year with everything that was lining up.
Last year should have been their year, to be honest with you. They should have won the Natty last year.
I think this year, after all the stars that lined up for you, getting Isaiah Bonds, and I mean, just everything has lined up for you, and boom, you do what you do. And I don't think next year they're going to be as good.
I feel like we said that last year about them.
Well, they had too much. To me, I didn't think that because I thought they had too much coming back.
Well,
I thought they had too much. Their defense wasn't really coming good back last year, but their defense got better this year.
Their defense was better in the back end this year.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But the offense was still there, and you made your defense better. So overall, this should have been their year.
The reason why they lost this year and last year, I'll just say it right now, is because they're soft. Whenever, just like what we talked about in the game, when you're on the 1 yard line and you're going sideline to sideline instead of trying to punch it in, going in, you can tell them what the fucking play is, and we're coming.
Well,
if you don't have the ability to go and get 1 fucking yard, then I don't know what to tell you.
Analytics, because analytics tells you that.
I don't give a shit about analytics. Run the football.
I understand that. But analytics were telling them the percentage of running the football on Ohio State in the middle of that teeth of that defense that wasn't going to get their yard. That's what they went on.
Bro, they ain't no analytics.
Instead of knowing, you got to know your people on the field and say, hey, look, my guy's going to get it done. Throw that analytics shit.
Hey, is that analytics or what the coaches think? Because I have a hard time believing analytics goes that in depth about.
There are analytics in certain spots of the field and at the certain time of the game, but I don't know that there's an analytic that told them not to run the football between the tackles.
But that's what I'm saying. We always want to throw analytics out, but does that analytics that they're looking at geared specifically for Ohio State, or is it just general football?
It's soft. It's soft Sark. That's what that shit is.
Hold on, what you call it?
Soft ass Sark.
Charmin Shark.
Charmin ass Sark. Yeah. Hey. Softness you can see.
Don't squeeze the Sherman, bro.
It's softness you can see, man. Softness you can see.
Hey.
The brand has finally returned. Fuck your brand.
Yeah. Hey, man, but I'm here for it, man. Hey, man, it gave me all kind of warm and fuzzies when that dude picked that ball up and started running down the sideline with it in front of, you know what I mean?
Dude, it looked like he was barely freaking moving, man. And he made it in, bro.
Let me tell you something. Who was the Texas running back running down the sideline that got hawked by the Ohio State safety? I can't remember what running back was, but I thought he was going to come get him. And then the number 8 for Ohio State comes screaming in and cut his ass off, walked his ass down and got that big block.
Well, that is number 8 not Caleb Downs? Is that not Caleb Downs?
It might have been, but it was that big, big safety that they moved down to. They moved him down to linebacker. That big safety that they moved down to linebacker.
Yeah,
he walked his ass down.
Yeah, but I think Texas got to do more of a rebuild. And guys, look, let's talk about our guys for a second. You talk about defenses in college football. Man, I'm gonna be honest with you. What they're doing right now, we losing Danny Stutzman. Don't get me wrong. We're losing a captain in the safety. Yeah. I understand that, but we're replacing with better talent. You know, and Billy Bowman said that himself. That the talent that's behind me these guys are more athletic than I am. But with what we have added, you tell me what defense in the country just going to be head and shoulders above OU's defense.
Not one.
And if we get a competent, if we average 300 yards a game, guys, and we average 35 points a game, man, our season is totally different.
28. If we average 28 points.
Yeah, I mean, and I just don't see the material coming in. Man, I went back and kind of watched this stuff, man. He's kind of the guy. He's that buddy of yours that at 8 o'clock you call him in the morning, and man, y'all stay outside and play football. Y'all do all kind of stuff until mom tell you to come back inside. He is that guy. He's a gamer. He's not a made person. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Just okay.
He got it out the mud, bro.
Yeah, that's right. He got it out the mud. Oh, I'm not this 5-star kid. I'm not this golden boy.
Yep.
You don't need golden boys. Golden boys have not been good at Oklahoma.
You don't need a team full of them. I know that.
No, you see what I'm saying? You don't silver spoon guys. This is what I'm talking about. And I feel like, man, with him coming in and with Gibson coming in and all these guys got this chip on their shoulder, bro, we going to be better. We're going to be a whole lot better. And for them jokers to have us down at 14 or whatever they looking at.
I was talking about this yesterday.
That shit is laughable, man. That for the defense that we got coming back, and we had a quarterback situation. If we get a little bit better and you still put us there,
Eddie Rado was on that SEC podcast and let Michael Bratton get away with saying they were going to go 2-5 in conference next season.
Man,
he let his ass get away with it.
I was about to say something.
Knowing what you know about the defense, look, I get it that not everybody believes as much as I do or you guys may. Like, I get that part, right?
Man, but they can look at the numbers. They ain't got to do that. Look at the numbers. Look at the games that we lost. Mm-hmm. Look at the damn numbers, bro. And we get a little bit better on offense.
That's even assuming that these teams some of them aren't going to be worse. And we know that they're going to be worse. Texas is going to be worse. LSU, maybe they're a little better. Maybe they're not. I don't know.
Ole Miss is going to be worse.
Ole Miss is definitely, they're going to be worse.
No, dude. They losing a lot. They can't buy a freaking cornerback right now. They have lost on every cornerback they have tried to get in the portal. They're not spending the money that they spent last year because guess what? Those premier guys like Walter Nolan, those guys are not in the damn portal. That portal class that they got, you would never get another portal class like that because people are going to take care of their athletes on the back end. And I talked to several Ole Miss guys. My business partner is a Ole Miss guy that writes they're not going to be as good. Are they going to be a 9-win team, 8-win team? Yeah, ain't no doubt about that, bro. But they missed the boat because they paid the money. They're another team just like Texas. They paid the boat for Ole Miss to be in the playoffs, and they missed it.
And they missed it. And they missed it. And that's the thing. Look.
So people are not going to pay that kind of money every year, and you miss it.
Don't get it twisted again. Here's the one thing I will say. Texas shouldn't fall off that much because they still have a schedule that is winnable. They still get Mississippi State instead of Ole Miss.
That was my point.
They still get Vandy instead of Tennessee. You know what I mean?
Vandy part now. I think Vandy just got better, bro.
Vandy's not going to be better than Tennessee. Come on, bro. Let's be real about that. Come on.
Man, I don't know.
Let's be real about that New Mexico State to Vanderbilt pipeline that's happening right now, bro.
Man, there he goes.
That big ass left tackle they got about to end up there.
New Mexico State, bro. Here we go.
Bro, the
Aggies can't win in their own league, but they'll come and win some games.
They rap fucked our whole squad, bro. They took everybody, coaches, players, shit.
Hey, man, look. Hey, That's the belly of the beast, bro.
It tells you that Sanchez can't keep the shit together for nothing, though.
Yeah.
But you look at Washington.
Same as he was at UNLV, not worth the shit.
So is there any smoke? So speaking of Texas, right, and a fall off. Is there any smoke with Sark and Dallas Cowboys?
I don't think so. I don't think he's an NFL guy. I don't even know if he's an NFL. Well, we say that he's not an NFL guy. He was a coordinator and got fired from the Falcons.
Yeah.
Before he went back to Alabama, so I guess so.
Yeah.
Could be.
What about Neon Deion?
I think that's
over.
He made it clear that he's not going anywhere. I think that he's. I think you're gonna get at least a year out of him without the kids, and then we'll find out. I think you're gonna wait and see. He's putting it in. I think what Deion's doing is putting it in the boat of Jerry Jones / the Raiders or whoever to get both of those kids on their team. Go get them both. Go get them both, and I'll be there.
I don't like that. I don't like
it. You have to like it. I said that's what's going on.
I'm not. It's not at you. I just don't like that. Like, you know what I mean?
But if you're Deion, there's a reason you can say, okay, I don't want to go. I don't want to go unless that's the case.
Yeah. That's I don't know. I'm not.
Trust me. If Deion get a
chance, the thing for the Cowboys, as far as the
NFL
Cowboys are concerned, I would do whatever the fuck I possibly could to get Jerry Jones to not make a decision, or to make a decision that I want him to make. Otherwise, I ain't coming.
Dude, Jerry Jones ain't fucking getting leveraged by nobody. That motherfucker don't want anybody coming in there telling him what to do.
Never.
Like who to draft, who to run shit.
They would have won a Super Bowl had he kept Parcells one more year. And because he kept kicking him out of the locker room or locking him out of the locker room, he fired his ass.
Jimmy Johnson, too.
Yeah, they were back-to-back Super
Jimmy
Bowls.
Johnson, hey.
That's what I'm saying, bro.
They would have did what the Patriots did if they had left Jimmy Johnson.
Yeah,
that's what they would have. That's exactly what they would have done. But he screwed that up, and they won't win. I hate to say that until he is in a nursing home or in the grave.
Hey, rawhide media for you. I do believe Sark is the man for the job at Dallas.
Wait, national title, coach? He ain't won shit. There's no national title. What the fuck? You don't be giving him no love in here. Rawhide. Come on, man.
Talking about being an OC at Alabama.
I think he's the man for the job, and that's Jerry's guy. That's what I think.
You got to get him up out of here.
Be nice and soft and charming. I don't. I hope they keep Sark. I tell you that. I hope they keep Sark. I do. Because he's beatable, man. He is beatable.
I'm not saying that. I'm just, trying to troll a little bit. Let me troll, bro.
I hope he stays forever, man. I hope he stays forever. I've been saying that for a long time. I'm gonna stick to it.
Yeah, Shark has a problem.
He ain't a shark. He ain't no shark. Don't call him Shark. I don't like it.
Hey, he has a problem when he gets inside the red zone. When he gets inside the red zone, it's a problem for him because his stuff is all out in space, man. And if you go look last year when we played them, year before last, they couldn't score on us. And they have a real, they score 30 yards in or 30 yards out, man, they good with that. But you get them jokers on the goal line and you got some dogs up there, you can hold them out.
Mm-hmm.
You can hold them out.
You got to look. To me, that is definitely an indictment on Sark right there. The fact that not only you did it in the Red River and we saw that, but you've seen it a lot. To not be able to go and get 1 yard, man, 1 yard, you're going sideways. To me, tells me all I need to know about this guy. Tells me all I need to know about this dude. That he's soft. That his approach is soft. It's not even about whether or not they get players. We know they get players. Mm-hmm. His approach is not it.
Oh yeah, and I heard some guys crying. We didn't have Bonds, man. I don't care nothing about all that, bro. We didn't have.
We're talking about receivers. Really though? We're gonna talk about we didn't have Isaiah Bond.
Who's the one that sat out pretty much the whole game, and when it got to crunch time, you look just fine running around out there.
Oh, what's the name?
My man.
The kid
I know
from
what
the kid from Oregon State, is that who that was? Or the kid from Houston? Which one?
I don't know, but all of a sudden you come out running routes. I was like, damn, where he been? They could have used
I
him.
forget which one it is now at this point, but I remember one of them had been sitting out a lot.
Yeah.
But Isaiah Bond should, I mean, you know, and what did you really expect from that dude? He had one big game at Alabama the year before.
I know.
You know what I mean? Come on. But that's the thing. If you with the running backs that you and the line that the offensive line that you had that they talked about so much coming into the season, that was going to be the most dominant offensive line in the country, and you can't go get a yard.
Nope.
Come on, bro. Come on, man. You got to be shitting.
Yeah, I just got something come across the AFCA at the AFCA convention. The coaches voted unanimously to change the transfer portal window, which you'll have to go through a whole bunch of other different things. But yeah,
they're going to get rid of the spring portal.
Yeah, get rid of the spring, which we talked about there earlier, and limited it to only 10 days in January. That's crazy.
10 days in January, so it's got to be before school starts, right? To get them enrolled.
No, I'm reading this. You know, maybe
I don't
they
think
say
that's going to be the case anymore. I don't think that the school enrollment is going to have a whole lot to do with this shit for much longer.
Mm-hmm.
How though? How can they not take that into account?
Because I do know
because it ain't about fucking school no more.
It ain't about school. I do know this right here, guys.
But if you don't, if you're not enrolled in class,
well,
if you can't enroll,
it's going to change, Big Mike. It's going to
change. So what I'm saying, what you're saying is like they're just going to transfer in the spring and not be in classes at all.
No, that's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying.
Not
being. You're going to have to extend that. You're going to have to extend it, or you're going to have to start calling it what it is, which is pro football.
Well, guys, if you look at it, some of the online classes starts later than the regular
That's what I'm
classes.
saying.
So if you do that window and the online classes start 2 weeks later than the regular season, then guess what? That whoever that transfer guy is going to be taking online classes. That's the only other way I can see it.
That's what let's go back to my original point. That's what I'm saying. It's got to be around being able to get registered for a school and being in that institution.
They'll walk
and Jason said it's not about fucking school, and I was like, "What? It has to be."
Yeah, it has to be right now.
No, damn good and well, it ain't about school, bro.
But it's I don't. That's not my point. My point is to be academically eligible and enrolled in the school. They have to move that portal around so when a kid transfers late in January, he's still got time to enroll.
Yeah, but
now, whether or not
the easy things to fix
himself, I don't know.
Those are the easy things to fix, though.
North Carolina basketball team situation, I don't know.
Those are the easy things to fix, though, with those deadlines where you've got certain classes that you can sign up for them late. You know, they may only be a once a week class. You've got X amount of classes you can miss before you have to be disenrolled anyway. There's ways around that shit. You went to school at Mexico State.
Your overall statement of it is not about school.
It ain't about school. We know it ain't about school, and so do you.
No, I'm not. But that's when that point is different than the point I'm making. The point I'm making is just to keep it on the up and up. You know what I mean? They have to enroll in school. I don't give a shit if they take the classes or fail them all. I don't give a shit. You know what I mean? But in order to be at said school, everything has to check out.
Easy adjustment, though. It's a much easier adjustment to adjust the window for getting into a class, though. You know what I'm saying? I'm saying you can adjust that window. It's easier to adjust the window.
I see what both of you guys are saying. He's saying when he's saying it's not. When Jason is saying it's not about school, he's saying that it's easy to adjust that. And yeah, you said it is about school. That means it has to happen. So both of you guys, got a great point. But it's just the thing about it is, if they want that kid, the school is going to they're going to move the needle left or right to get the kid in, regardless. That's going to happen.
But the dates, going back to my original statement, if they got a 10-day window in January, it has to align with them being eligible or having the ability.
Yeah, if
what's the deadline right now?
If it goes from January 1 to January 10, then that's cool because
that's my point.
To the 14th.
All right, what would be the okay? So then, are they going to move? Are they going to move up the season too? Are they going to move up the playoffs like we're talking? I think what some of this should be signaling more to us than anything, because what is it? Just to finish up the school side of it, let me ask you this: what's the last day that they can enroll in classes in January at Oklahoma right now?
I don't know.
Not a clue.
What the fuck? It's supposed to be so big about class, and you guys don't even know Parents of the Year. Come on,
it's not. Come on, that's so fucking weak, dude. Why don't you look it up? You're the one asking the question. Look it up.
And these kids been enrolled since last year, man.
I am looking it up, actually, man. I'm just fucking with you. You know that.
But I'm gonna say this, man. I'm gonna say this. This is real shit when it comes to talking about what's going on. They are trying to. These coaches at one time they were so in favor. The big schools were so in favor of the transfer portal because they could get easy groceries. It's just like going in Dollar General to having to go in damn Walmart. You can go in Dollar General and go easy and get it and get out instead of having to go to that hustle bustle of Walmart. So what has happened right now, guys? These coaches are saying, "Look, you know what? Let's cut this song on down because it's that month that's costing us money. You got to fly these kids in. You got all these official visits. So cutting that portal window down, it's going to cut money down that you're spending."
Currently right now already, just so we get that out there, already they've got till January 15th to enroll.
Yeah.
So it's not going to have any effect on it.
That was my guess. My 15th or like the 20th at the latest. Yeah. So what you're saying, Marcus, hold on. What you're saying with this 10-day window in January, what does that do to the December window that's already in place?
It starts on December 4th anyway, as it is.
It starts on December 4th.
Yeah. So right now, I think they may move that part of it.
Yeah. So what you're saying on the 28th? What was it? When did the December portal close? What day was that?
28th.
Yeah, the 28th. So and then there's another one that's going to be in January.
No, they're moving it. It sounds like they're moving it, right?
Yeah, they're eliminating the spring and giving you the 10 days in January.
Let me check.
And still keeping the December time.
Yeah, still keeping the December time. That's what I'm looking at on here.
To me, that doesn't really do anything to me. You know what I mean? Like that to me, if that's the scenario, that 10-day window in January doesn't mean shit, in my opinion. Because if you're transferring that late, that means you are in the college football playoffs and you're executing your 5-day window after you're done playing. Now, if you're not making that, you got the whole window in December to jump in the portal. So I don't understand what 10 days in January does.
Okay, check this out. Let's just say you finished up your season on December the 26th or whatever.
Yeah.
So your season, you didn't make the playoffs or anything. So you really just had till the 28th, which was
you got 5 days from that last game.
Okay, so the 30th. I mean, so be it.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay,
that 10 days in January doesn't do nothing.
Yeah, it does. Yes, the hell it does. It all depends on. Yeah, it does because
big crayons. I need it Barney style. Break it down for me.
Well, I'm finna break it down. So I'm finna give it to you right on.
I'm glad you guys are carrying this right now. My camera's all fucked up. So go ahead.
So in them 5 days, if I'm in negotiations, I had a big game or whatever, and I already was in negotiation with you guys, and you guys telling me you can't give me any more money. But I sit through the bowl game. I did this. So I only have 5 days. That's bullshit. Now I got
that's just 5 days to enter, Marcus. That's just 5 days to enter.
Yeah, but I don't want to enter right then. I don't know if I want it because I'm gonna I'm gonna side bet. I'm gonna go find out where I really want to go.
I feel like this
now
is
I got a little bit longer time. Anytime you get one more day, it's better than no day.
So you're trying to tell me that the NCAA is changing the whole portal window so you can go out there and hustle?
Oh, hell, shit.
Come on, man.
It's in black and white. So
I don't think that's
what you do. They doing it.
I know, but the NCAA isn't gonna change rules so they can enable it. What does that
I'm not
benefit
saying
them to
they're going.
do?
I'm
They ain't
not
getting no
saying.
money
I'm
from
not
that.
saying they're going.
That's
to
why I
emulate.
don't. That's if the NCAA ain't making money off it, then I feel like they don't give a shit about it. You know what I mean? And that's why
I
I
feel
don't know.
like that's been college football from day one. But it got to be to a point where, okay, we got to listen to the coaches at some point in time, because everything is getting out of hand. They're trying to reel things in, and maybe this is one way of saying,
proposal. Hold on.
it's a proposal. It's all
The
it is.
Wait. So the proposal is to move it to a 10-day window in early January after bowl games, with the spring window eliminated. So not staying open in December as well.
That's right.
Okay, well that's shit. That's even worse to me. That supports your thing because now they have less time to even make decisions.
But it also. But hold on now. It also,
to a certain extent.
Just a minute, guys. It also helps with that little problem that people have with these kids getting in the portal when their team still got games.
I don't give a shit if that. What's that got to do with this? Like that doesn't bother me.
That has a lot to do with a lot of people. It pisses a lot of people off.
Why? Why? Because they're old dinosaurs. They're old dinosaurs, and they want coaches to just have autonomy. And coaches can leave and do whatever they want.
Hold on. So you think it's okay to be able to get into the portal if you're going to a playoff? You think that that's a good thing?
I don't care. If it's for the if it benefits
going
the
on with
student
your
athlete,
yes. You'd be okay with it. Come on
if
now.
it benefits the student athlete, yes. I'm okay with it.
I'm not agreeing with that, bro. I'm not.
Why? So you guys don't want players to have the freedom to leave a school whenever they want?
No, you shouldn't have.
So you're okay with a coach? You're okay with a coach taking another job before his team gets to the playoffs?
No,
I'm not.
I mean,
I'm not okay with that, and I'm not okay with a kid.
You don't.
I'm not okay with neither one of them.
You guys are acting like this is like the players that are doing this, like jumping out on their team before the playoff game, are all superstars and going to the league.
That doesn't matter. It could happen though. It's the fact that it could. It could happen, and it messes with your depth and your chances of winning. You know that.
But
you know that.
How is that individual player's problem?
It's not about the individual players at this point. I'm not even saying it against the players. I'm saying you need to fix this for college football and the product of the game, period. Because you have the other part is because the other part of it is that you have dumbass fans that many of which we have in this fan base that are going to sit there and skewer a player for going and getting in that portal. Why not just take that ability away from them?
I just feel like you're limiting the player. That's what I don't like about it.
I don't think you're limiting the player because you're opening it later. You're making it to where it's actually open at one time for everybody instead of multiple times for all the different schools. When that's not never the way it would be in free agency. Come on.
The national championship is played on January 20th. What happens to those players that do they still get the 5-day window after their last game?
We don't know. I think they do. We don't know that.
It's a proposal. It hasn't been.
It's a proposal. It's not a.
It hasn't been finished.
I don't think that's going to go through. I don't think that's going through.
I think it's going to go through at some point because, again, I think the only reason that they've had up until this point.
Want it. I think the schools want it.
Yes, and I think to some extent, I think even some of the players probably do. What they don't want is to lose their window to be able to leave and make their money. And right now, we're using things like enrollment periods in order to keep them from being able to do this whenever they want. When you can move it to the end of the damn season, stop having this be a thing, increase it from the 15th to the 20th if you need to, or the 25th even. Who gives a shit? Let it.
Are you on the toilet? Is that why I'm hearing this?
Brother, I just told you the camera's messed up.
You're on the toilet right now.
I am not on the toilet right now. Shut up. See, here you go. You just don't like it that you're getting killed here on this point. You don't like it that you're getting killed here on this point. Look at that. Oh, shit. We just lost Boganowski. Damn it. How did that happen?
Throw his ass out.
I don't care one way or the other. I just don't see how it benefits. Like, what's the benefit of it? And here's my thing too. Like, the NCAA don't need to make no decisions unless they are getting a consensus and
I don't know that this is as much the NCAA. I think this is FSCA, FCSA. I think it's
that's
football
what it
coach.
is. I just read it. That's who it is.
Yeah,
I don't think it's the NCAA at all.
No, it's not.
Yeah, that shit.
AFCA head coaches are proposing the move. It's the coaches that are making that.
I think.
You want me to send you the link, Jason? You already found it. I can send it to you.
I'll send you the link. Oh, I've got the link from Ross Dellinger. It's a tweet.
Oh, okay, yeah.
The thing from yesterday. That was yesterday morning.
Yeah, from last word on. Yeah, I got it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I don't know. To be honest with you, I really don't have a problem with how it's ran right now. And I know people do. Other people do. I don't really have a problem with it.
Yeah, I got a little problem. It needs to be some guardrails on some of this shit, man.
I hate the word guardrails, but I'll put it to this. I think that I think this helps the player more than it helps.
And what I mean by guardrails,
I do think so.
That means keep everything centered, man, instead of shit going everywhere. That's what I'm saying. You know, you go bowling with your kids and they 6, 7 years old. You put the guardrails up so they won't hit the damn gutter ball. Is what I'm saying. Those type of things is what that's what I mean by guardrails.
I think you're saving the kid from themselves kind of deal. I get it, but
you better let that kid throw a gutter ball.
The problem with
let that kid throw a gutter ball.
Son of a bitch.
Better work on your bowling form.
Oh man, here we
Them
go.
little ramps that you set the ball onto, that shit ain't bowling.
What is it then?
Shit,
are we done here? Are we done here? What the fuck are we doing?
Mike is going, hey, look, we're going to change his name to Trolling Mike. That's your name from now on. Trolling Mike, man. Trolling Mike.
Y'all on some bullshit. Y'all on some bullshit, bro. Y'all are bullshit.
I'm telling you that I think that if they're doing that, it's better to do it to where it's one window for the entire. I think it helps the kids if you got one window for the entirety of college sports. You've got that one window. If you're not doing it from the 28th and then whenever you got to wait until the end of it for every team, they get an extra 5 days. That's weird, man. And it will hurt you going down think of it this way. If you are on, let's say Notre Dame in Ohio State right now, there's less ability. Some of these guys they've already filled up their rosters. So there's not as much money out there for these guys that are at Ohio State or at Notre Dame right now that could be leaving. If they'd have left early in December, it would have been different and they could have been a part of the spending spree. Now, at this point, you might have already got a bunch of schools they've already split their wad. You know what I mean? And it's less opportunity for these kids. You're hurting the players now for getting deeper. If you wait till the end of the damn season and everybody's open at the same damn time, then you have more opportunity for everybody. I just think that it's a matter of trying to get these guys all in one at one time of the year. And I think that that's the best way to do it. I don't think it has anything to do with the kids necessarily versus the schools. I think it's better for everybody that way.
I disagree.
Why do you disagree though? Tell me why.
I don't like having one period and everybody going. I just don't like that. I don't like more regulation on what they're already doing. Like I get it. They're changing it.
Everybody having in the same time. It's not it's not more regulation.
Yeah.
It's just moving it. They move it every year. What the fuck is that? What's the difference?
That's what I'm saying. And I'll go back to my original point. Why? You know what I mean? Why do they keep moving some shit? It's never gonna get settled. It's never gonna be one period. It's gonna continue to keep changing and just piss everybody off.
I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me what you're saying. To me, it's you're allowing them all to be in the portal at once. You don't have to miss playoff games in order to get your money. You don't. You can stick with your team and not look bad for leaving your team in a playoff run.
The kid doesn't want. Why are you restricting the kid? for perception. If the kid wants to leave, he can
Not even
leave.
about perception.
If he
even
knows
about
he's going to look bad in front of his fans, he don't need Jason Watkins to tell him he can't do it so he don't look
I
bad.
don't give a shit.
fans.
I'm not
He don't
telling
need
nobody
that.
nothing. First off, I don't get on kids for nothing. I'm always pro
That's
kid
what I'm saying.
every time.
That's why I'm so confused by your take right now.
No, the point I'm making is if you do this and it's open the same amount of time for everybody at the end of the fucking season, then they don't miss out on some of these programs are going to make decisions before your kid may be out in the portal at that point because they're still playing for their team. Hold on a minute. Let me finish and you'll understand what I'm saying. If there's a kid from Ohio State and Notre Dame, the portal window's been closed now. For how long? It's the 15th today. It closed on the 28th. That's 18 days it's been closed, which means he wasn't negotiating all that time during December. Yeah, he gets an extra 5 days and now he can get in it. But a lot of programs have already signed their classes complete. They don't have any money left. So now you just restricted his amount of time to get something because he went further in the playoff than anybody else did. I'm saying that helps the player if it's at one time.
Yeah, but the player chose to stay at Ohio State. He could have went in the portal at the beginning. That's not even an argument, Jason. That doesn't even make sense. You're acting like they ain't letting this kid go in the portal and on the back end because they're playing for the national championship. He's getting screwed. What? He can go in the portal whenever he wants.
If I'm a kid,
Okay.
if I'm
No,
a
you're
kid,
gonna just go in the portal whenever you want, but okay.
Hold on. So I listen to both of y'all. So if there's a kid that's playing for a national championship, let's say he's on Ohio State team, and as a athlete, as a player, you want to win the gold. You want to win the damn gold. Whether you are happy there or not, especially if you're a damn starter and you playing for a damn national championship. Guess what, guys? I'm gonna be honest with you. Your ass hit the portal right before you play for a national championship.
Ooh, yeah, that doesn't look good.
Guess what? I don't fucking want you. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't give a damn. I've run organizations. I do not want a kid that's selfish enough to leave my organization, leave another organization, and I'm playing for a damn national title. What stupid ass coach in America want a kid like that?
But that's that kid's choice.
I know it's that kid's choice. So you got to protect that kid from his damn self.
What if he doesn't want to be there?
Dude, he might not want to be there. But guess what? You still got to protect him.
How are you protecting him by keeping him on a team that he doesn't want to be on? If he wants to jump in the portal, let him jump in the portal before the national title game.
You're not keeping him on the team. You're actually letting him play. If he doesn't want to be there,
players jump in the portal and play for their teams all the time.
They do it all the time, Mike, but that doesn't mean it's fucking right.
How is it wrong?
I'm not saying it's wrong, but I'm not saying it's right. It's his choice.
God, did I take some edibles? Did I take a hit of acid? What alternate parallel universe am I in right now with y'all?
I don't know.
I don't know what you're talking about, man. I can't believe that you have a problem.
You guys are acting like these are 10-year-old kids and they need guidance and parents.
Oh, they
and
do.
Guardrails and bumpers.
Shit, they do.
No.
What? Yeah. Hold on.
Maybe for NIL and money, but they know they don't want to be on a team. If they don't want to be on a team, why are you forcing them?
One at a time.
But what
if they don't want to be on a team,
Mike,
one at a time, shit.
He just contradicted himself. He said, you act like they don't need these kids are this. Yeah, then you say, but you say, oh yeah, for NIL, they need somebody to guidance for that, but they don't need nobody guidance for that. That's bullshit, man.
No, it's not.
18 to 18 regardless.
It's not.
The decision making is not always great. You have one, I have one. I had 4. That decision making is not always great at 18.
But the dumbasses is what was. Come on, man. You know what we were whenever we were that age.
I was a dumbass at 18.
Thank you.
But so you're trying to say he don't have choices on what he wants to do?
No, I'm
Nobody's saying about choices. Nobody's. What's
Yes,
the
you are.
difference?
You're taking that ability from him. If he wants to jump in the portal in December before his team makes a playoff run, he can't do that,
Mike,
because it's
this
better
is
for
changing
the
it
school.
it's for everybody that it moves to January instead of being in December. It's not taking it away. It's moving it for everyone, and it's giving everyone an equal.
Point to another point.
It's everybody having an equal time, the same time of the year, just like you would have in the NFL for free agency.
Well, this
Come on.
ain't
Think about what we're
communist
talking about.
Russia.
We're talking about free agency.
It ain't gotta be, bro.
We're talking about free agency. You wouldn't have a different time of the year for everybody to have free agency in the
It's the
NFL.
same way in the NFL. You just can't. You can't
on,
do
man.
that in the
This
NFL.
ain't the NFL.
It is to the NFL.
well
It is too. That's what they're trying to be.
No, it ain't. We can't trade. We can't make trades.
Oh, you make trades. You make trades all the damn time.
You know damn good and well they can. Come on.
Yeah, I mean,
Not out front.
It's
Not out front.
No, not out
All
front.
right. So let's hear me out now. How are we deciding this argument right here?
The only difference is that you're just moving it. It's just a movement of the days. That's all it is.
That's all it is. It's a movement of
But
the
that movement of the days has an effect on a kid.
How?
You're keeping him in a situation he doesn't want to be in.
So okay, well,
No, you're taking
I got it, Jason. I got it.
Hold on.
Let's move it to the first day of the season then. If after the first week he don't know, he say he don't want to be there, well, guess what? By not having the portal open,
They already can do
beginning
that.
of the season, you holding him back. That's the same damn difference.
They already can do that.
No, you can't.
No, they decide they're going to red shirt. They decide they're going to red shirt.
Bro, you saw a whole bunch of people play 2 or 3 games. I'm like, well, I'm just going to red shirt.
Well, legally is what
They
I'm
did
saying.
it legally.
I'm talking about getting the portal legally.
We're not even talking about taking away their ability to. That's not what we're saying, is to take away their ability to go into the portal. Just so everybody understands, that's not what the hell we're saying. We're talking about having the portal window be the same for everybody in the country. Not,
so if that's the case, if you move it up 3 weeks, so are you giving them a bet if you move it up 3 weeks from where it already is? Or do we move it up 3 more weeks? Or do we move it up 3 more weeks?
I mean,
when is the best chance? When is the best time to have it? So you might as well just have it open the whole year. Because if a kid don't want to be there, then
that's my point, Marcus. It essentially is. Because the kid can just say, I'm not playing for you guys anymore. I'm redshirting. And he could do that at the beginning of the year.
Play 4 games. If this kid is in the playoffs and he's a kid that's been playing, his ass ain't redshirting. So you just bring up one situation with a red shirt. I'm talking about these kids that, like the starting quarterback, was it Penn State or whoever that decided to leave?
The backup quarterback.
Backup quarterback. But what I'm saying, these kids, like, you know.
Had you had an injury there, Penn State would have been all kinds of pissed off because they'd had to go to number 3.
Yeah.
Now, that's not the point, though. That doesn't have anything to do with it to me.
What I'm saying is, I'm talking about you take a kid.
If you're moving it for everybody, then it's one thing. That's the point. It's not. They're not doing it to where it's open in December and it's open in January, so that it. And that's not the point. You're just moving it so that it's one period for everybody in the country. It's not against the kids. I don't have a problem with kids leaving whenever they feel like they're ready to leave. Coaches do it. We've talked about this.
Jason, and thing about it is, that's not
coming back to my argument, Jason.
I'm saying they all do it. I'm saying this is just moving that period to the end of the season, which makes plenty of sense to me.
Makes sense to me too.
I mean, it doesn't not make sense to me. That's what I'm saying. I just don't see the point of it. Like I can see what I just don't see what the difference is.
You just said 2 things in the same fucking sentence.
Hold on. It makes sense if they want to do it right that way, right? If you want to put everybody on the thing. But it has no point to me whether they do it like that or how it currently is. It doesn't matter. You know what I mean? To me, it doesn't matter because the kid can still not play for the team.
Yeah, they
could. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, they could.
Yeah, they can choose.
You're not forcing, okay, but you're giving them an opportunity to stay if they would want to stay, but they can't if they're gonna go get their money if it's early portal. That's the difference. If you keep it where it is right now in the early portal, these kids that are maybe they're a backup at Oklahoma. They said they're a backup at OU, and OU's in the field, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if they don't jump in the portal right now and get the fuck out of there, they can't go get their money at the next stop because it's going to be over with. If they wait until the end, there's a lot of those spots will already be taken. Now they don't have to leave. They can still be a part of that program. And then at the end of it, when everybody is at the window,
because once you jump your
correct. That's the other part.
Is gone.
But let me finish. It allows that kid to say, okay, yes, I'm going to get in the portal when it opens, but I still get to stay with my team. I don't have to look bad for leaving my teammates in the middle of a fucking playoff run and being selfish. And then I can still go get my money, and it doesn't limit the amount of places that I could go play. I still have the same jobs are going to be open that'll be open whenever I get there. It doesn't change anything. It just makes sure that everybody gets the equal amount of time in the portal. That's all it is. That's all that is. That's all I'm talking about. Because I'm not trying to limit kids at all. I want players to be able to do what they want to do.
You're gonna have
what?
I want
you just limited them. You just limited them by putting it on 10 days.
I just took away the limitations of them having to leave their program.
They don't have to leave, Jason. They don't have to.
They can still leave, though, and they can have their cake and eat it, too, in this way. They can stick with their program for now. It doesn't hurt them on the back end when the portal opens.
And it doesn't hurt their money.
Well, if you guys hear one thing I say, what if they don't want to stick to the program? You are making them stick to a program.
Bro, no, you're not. You're just making them get.
No, I'm not.
You just said you're making them stick with the program. You just said it. Somebody clip it. Somebody clip that.
I did it open.
You can't leave until the semester is over with anyway. It ain't like they can just jump
It
up
just means that you can still leave. You can still leave at the end. It doesn't change that you can leave. We're not talking about taking away their opportunity.
If you don't want to go to practice, don't go
to practice. Right.
Come
on, think about what you're saying.
You're not making a kid do anything.
No, I'm
if your ass
serious.
don't want to go to practice, don't go to practice.
That's what I'm saying.
Say I'm jumping in the portal. So guess what? But you're a dumbass for doing it because you're losing your money.
That's a decision that they made.
Well, it's so this way a kid is still getting his money. If he wants to say, you know what, I'm going in the portal. 9 games in the season, he can figure out he's going in the portal. He can be already contacting whoever he's going to contact, and then when that time comes, he can sign up on the dotted line and get over there and never miss a dime of his money, never miss a dime of anything. But if he don't want to play, then get what? Hey, coach, you know what? I'm out. Okay, cool. Appreciate that. That damn $20,000 a month you was getting, I can go ahead and cut your ass off.
Yeah.
I'll say so, but so how are you making the kid stay? Because he can't leave until the semester is over with in the first place.
I'm not saying leave like I'm talking about the football team.
I'm
talking about the football team. The football team. The football team.
Dude, he don't have to
That's
go.
what I'm talking about. We're not talking about school because according to Jason, academics don't matter.
Dude,
they don't.
You're not making him stay because Mike. Anytime
you agreed with me.
Season,
I got you.
Anytime during the season you want to check your ass out and don't go to practice, all you got to do is do it. Can't nobody put a gun in your head and make you go to practice. So you're not making the kids stay.
That's the whole thing. You're not making the kids stay at all. All you're doing is moving this to one period for the entire country instead of having it drag on for 2 months. And it's not fair for everybody that way either.
You're not making this.
So what's wrong with it dragging on for 2 months? So hold on. So you're saying this 10-day window right here?
One period for everybody in FBS should have one portal period. That's it. It starts at one time and ends at one time for everybody. Not after the end of the year for some of them. Not at the start of the damn semester for others. All that shit. It's just it makes it tougher for the kids to make decisions, and you're making them make decisions they shouldn't have to make.
But
you shouldn't have to make that decision. You should not have to make that decision on December 4th when you can make it on January the 15th?
What if they want to make it on the 4th?
Well, don't
They
go
can.
to
They
practice.
still can,
Don't
but
go
you
to
shouldn't
practice.
have to. It's not about whether you can or not. It's whether
They
you
don't have
or
to.
not.
They
Yes,
don't
they
have to
do.
make it on the
Yes,
4th.
they have to if they really want a chance to be able to go and play. If they really want a chance to go play somewhere else, but they would also like to stay with their team for a playoff run because maybe that gives them a little more. It gives them a little more value because they just played as a backup in the playoff. Maybe they get some time.
Yeah.
Right. So you're giving them more opportunities this way. It's not taking away shit.
But I don't see how, like, if the kid wants to play in the bowl game and jump in the portal, he can do that. The coaches
Not
can let him
always,
do that.
not always, not always.
But that's what I'm saying. But that's why are you trying to institute a rule for that? Like,
Not a rule. I'm not instituting a rule. I'm just moving the period to where it's everybody's got the same time. That's all we're doing.
Man, you had never.
You can still leave. You can still leave if you feel like it. If you feel the need to leave,
I just don't. It just doesn't matter to me. Like, to why, like, somebody would like, oh, I think this is a good idea. It doesn't affect anything. You off
before the Bucks went into the playoffs, if free agency started.
Hold on, say it again. I was reading the comment.
Before the Bucks playoff game, would it piss you off if free agency started the week before?
This would be 38 damn hot.
I mean, I don't know how. But
that's what we're talking about.
So free agency, like,
this is what that's what the portal is.
Here's what it'll affect. It'll affect some of your players that aren't high up on the roster, just like it affects college football for the most part. You don't see starters and people like that doing, you know what I mean?
You don't.
Like,
you don't. Oh, you could though. Could you not? Hey, what if free agency started and Baker decided, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and jump in free agency, see what happens here right before the playoff starts.
And guess what? That's a decision he makes. I'm not going to make a rule that doesn't allow him to do it.
Guess what? We don't. It's not a rule. We can have free agency after the season's over in the NFL. We don't have to make that a situation.
You're essentially making a rule on when you can come in.
It's not a rule. It's just moving the damn period.
Mike, you was in the
military. The game itself.
You was in the military, bro. You had to go by rules and regulations.
I know. This is
maybe that's why I am the way I am. Maybe I don't want somebody to tell me what the fuck to do all the time.
That might have a lot to do with it, bro.
Yeah, I mean, like, if it makes sense, but for real talk, if the shit makes sense, I'm gonna do it. I did 20 years of just saying yes, sir, Roger, all that shit. You know what I mean? I've done it.
Right there.
I've done it.
This isn't changing rules and limiting their opportunities. This is just giving it actually gives you more opportunities, because if you stay, you could help yourself, but you could also hurt yourself for the next deal. Period. It's the same reason why when Lincoln left, he had to lose that game to Oklahoma State, because if they go play for the conference championship and possibly the playoff, he doesn't get to take the job at USC because you can't recruit. You can't recruit. This takes that problem away from the coaches too. This whole thing, you just finish the year, then free agency opens. Think of it as free agency. They're just doing the same thing that they would do in the NFL, that you would not have multiple free agency periods in the NFL. You don't need to have them in college football either. That's all this is. We're getting mixed up on the words. We're getting mixed up on the words transfer portal versus free agency. They're the same fucking thing.
Same thing.
Maybe, but that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about when it is, not the definitions here. We're talking about the dates and what they're doing. Like you're trying to spin it on me. That's not what we're talking about.
Spinning anything. I'm telling you, you're moving it to the end of the year. I don't care.
Yeah, but all of a sudden you're trying to convince me that the transfer portal and free agency is the same thing.
It is the same thing.
It is the same thing, Mike. Come on, bro.
Same fucking thing.
No.
Same thing.
So when are we going to start allowing teams to just openly trade then?
I don't know.
That's not what we're talking about.
It's not going to happen.
Free agency and trades aren't the same either. Free agency and trades aren't the same.
Yeah, but that you're saying it's the NFL. It's the same thing.
Same shit. Not the same shit.
Bro.
Not the same shit. They can make a trade in the middle of the year. They can make a trade whenever the fuck they feel like it.
Yeah.
Ladies, welcome to the show, Trolling Mike.
No, I'm not trolling.
Yeah,
I was trolling earlier when I was in the comments when I was working out. Yeah, I was trolling. But going back to my original point, I just don't really see what difference this makes, other than making it fair.
It's not about
for
it's
a
making
small
it fair
few.
for your
For a
players.
small few.
Who is the small
If
few
Michael wanted to go into the portal, but he wanted to stick it out with his team. Let's just say it was Mike. He wanted to stick it out with OU, but he knows that he's got an opportunity to go make big money after the season's over. But you know what? If I go and win a national championship, I'll make even more money that way. Now I don't have to make that decision if I'm Mike to leave the program right now. I can wait till the year's over with. It doesn't hurt me. It doesn't help me. It means that I still, that some of those positions that might be offering me money, some of these other schools won't have already picked somebody else before I'm available to them.
I can tell you what it does.
Listen, here's what I would tell you. If this was the case, what'd you say, Marcus?
I said, what if they do it like this? It keeps money in that kid's pocket until he's ready to leave, until the end of the year. Because if you know, you agree with me, if you stop going to practice, you stop doing this, stop doing that, then you're not going to get paid. One thing about this situation, I don't care whether you think it's good or bad, if they have to stay to the end of December, then they're going to get their check all the way through there. So that's one good thing. I'm gonna look at it like that. So all the other nuances that goes into this, the kid get paid to the end of the year, and I'm good with that.
Listen, man, like listen. If let's say, for instance, Mike wanted to go in the portal, right? Let's just say that. Let's say in this. Maybe we're not playing for a title. Maybe we're not 6-6 at the time. You know, whatever it is. If Mike wanted to leave and go in the portal, I want him to do it as fast as possible to get out there and be first in that portal and start talking to schools.
But now he doesn't have to be out there. It won't. He wouldn't have to leave
but
now.
you're putting him by limiting that right there for 10 days. You're putting him in a larger pool with every other linebacker or safety or whatever the position is. Right? I'd rather have him get in there first and get out there and sew up. And he has more options available to him to where to go.
So you're looking at. Hold up. I think I finally understand what Mike talking about.
I don't want anybody dictating what he's doing.
No, Mike.
Well, there's going to always be some. There's always going to be some kind of
more days. That's all you saying.
No. I'm not saying more days. No. I'm talking about if he's going to jump in the portal, I want him in the portal first or early as possible.
That's more days.
Maybe when not everybody's jumping in the portal.
Because he has to be at this point, right?
What do you mean he has to be?
Right now, it does benefit you to jump in in December because at the end of January, there's only going to be a few of those openings left.
Okay, yes, right.
That's not going to be the case anymore.
Why would you limit that?
That's not going to be the case anymore.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm against it.
No, but there's still going to be more openings to him at the time that it opens.
Okay, openings are right. Okay, I agree. There's going to be openings, right? There's going to be openings. But if you started at a certain time, that pool of the people in the same position is going to be larger as well. The openings will stay the same, but that pool, now that everybody's getting in at the exact same time, it's a bigger pool of players, which I don't want. If I'm a player,
some kids don't get it.
If I'm going to jump in the portal and make money, if I'm going to be that player, I want to be in first. I don't care about if my team is going to a national championship or playing in a bowl game. If I want to go make money, I want to be in the portal first, and I want to get my school first.
Are you sure that it's always like that, though?
No, I'm not. But I'm just making a case of why I think the one time in December or January doesn't work for me. That's all I'm saying.
It's still one time. It's just that, except for if your team is in the playoff, then you get an extra 5 days or whatever the hell. Because right now, if it's before the 28th, if you play your bowl game before the 28th, you don't get extra time. or before the 23rd or whatever it is. It's to get your 5 days, but it still ends on the 28th. So,
but that's what I'm saying. But that's not to like sign with a team. That's just to get your name in the portal, right?
Right, but it's not equal to the guys that are playing for. So let's say you go out there and you go win a national championship, or don't even win one. You have a great playoff, and now your freaking money just goes up because you performed.
That is a decision.
Stop a second, though. It's a decision. It's a decision that can be made, and you get fucked over it if the portal window opened and closed in December before you ever got a chance to do all that. If
he wants to take that chance, he should be able to take that chance.
They still can take that chance. They still could leave their program at any time if they wanted to, be just like they do now. But this would mean that the portal itself doesn't open until January, and that means that they can't sign anywhere else because nobody's going to be signing anywhere else because free agency doesn't start until January. That's the difference.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
That's all it is. There's a lot of opportunity.
I understand. I just don't. If I'm a player, I don't want this. That's where I'm coming from. I'm coming from a player standpoint. I agree
with what you're saying because I think that in some instances, maybe, but I also think that if you know
one instance of a player going to do in a national championship is for a small few. In that small few, you're changing the rule for that small few. It might affect, not the masses that it doesn't affect.
But it's for the entire whole. It's for the whole of the sport. Is what we're talking about. It's not for the small few. It's for all of them to have the equal opportunity in free agency. The same opportunity.
Yeah, I'm not about the same opportunity.
Okay, well, that's at least you said that. At least you admitted that you don't want it to be the same for everybody. I got it. That makes sense.
But that's what I'm saying. I don't want it to be the same for everybody because not everybody's situation is the same. If you feel me.
It's not even about that. It would still be your situation can be different, and it still doesn't hurt you because you're still opens up at the same time for everybody.
It's clearly not for the player. You're 100% right, Purple Orca. It's clearly not for the player.
What does that even mean? That ain't for the player.
This rule change doesn't benefit the player. This proposed rule change doesn't benefit the player.
Yes, it does benefit the player because you know what? Now there's not already a bunch of positions that have been filled by the time these certain players get done. It is for the players, just for all the players.
You better get in while the getting's good.
It's not for some of them. It's all of them. I'm for all the players. You know this. You know this.
Okay, so what about the process? So now you got to process people these days, right? Do they fall in the same window?
Sure.
Yeah. So all I'm saying is 10 days. Like, this is why I don't like the move today right there. So you're telling me a kid has to move from one school to the other school, get enrolled in 10 days or 15 days.
You think that they're not going to continue? They're going to have these conversations beforehand. You know they are.
Yeah. So again, thanks for proving my point. This proposed rule change doesn't matter because it's already taken place.
You're acting like they're not going to get enough time to be able to up and leave. That's the point that you're making right there.
They might have time, but that's a lot. That's a lot for a college kids to up and move.
It's already a lot for them. That's not a change either. It didn't already happen.
It's tough. Logistically, it's tough.
It's tough either way. Mm-hmm. And it's not as tough when you can take an online class and not have to be there right away. You still get your time to move around and do all that stuff. There's going to be leeway. You know that.
Yeah, I'm just saying logistically it's tough.
Logistically, it's
tight.
Logistically, it's already tough.
It makes it more tighter, more tight. If I want to be an English major,
I don't know. I don't know that it does. I think that it's not
like you're saying.
Football players that English majors.
Yeah. So you're saying, is it more tight, or more tighter, or just tighter? Let me know in the chat.
Tighter would be the word.
Yeah, let's go, Jason. You write articles and shit.
Yeah, I was a communications major.
Yeah. What is the right answer? Do you rely solely on Grammarly?
Grammarly's wrong most of the time. What do you even mean? It ain't right.
Let me go back to this point before I got sidetracked. So you're saying, like, let's say somebody that goes in the portal in the early December, right? They commit to a school early December. Now they have time to set the conditions and get their stuff and get packed and move, get to said school, right? Or you wait till December to do it and maybe takes 4 or 5 days, or you wait till January to do it and it takes maybe 5-6 days. Who knows? Are people working on New Year's Day? You know what I mean? So there might be a day gone. And then you're committing to school on the 5th.
Here's the deal.
Now you got a week to get there to get moved in and registered.
Here's the deal. They don't have to pull your ass out of the portal at any point.
I don't like it.
They don't have to pull your ass out of the portal at any point. Somebody's got to want your ass.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, somebody's got to. What if you
really
jump in the portal at that point and nobody picks you up? You don't have time to react. You don't have time to react. Say you jump in the portal.
90% of the kids that get in the portal and actually
already know
another school actually have already had transactions.
Of course, that's not going to change either, by the way.
What about the kids that aren't expecting it and get processed?
I don't know that happens a whole lot either, but go ahead.
Oh, that happens.
What do you mean? You don't know that happens a lot. A lot of kids don't get told to go.
Bro.
They don't know that it's coming though. Come on, man.
I don't know. Maybe some of them get surprised.
Jason.
You tell me these kids don't know what the hell's coming most of the time.
Some of them
they don't know where they stand in that room.
No, some of them don't, because some of the coaches don't know where the hell they stand. That's the situation with that.
Orca's talking about put it in the spring. Orca's talking about make it all the way back in the spring. Move it way the hell back. I'm just trying to make it to where it's all the same. I don't give a fuck when it is, as long as it's the same for everybody. They all get the same opportunity to be in it at the right time. And it doesn't hurt anybody. It's not just for the players, it's for everybody, that you have one period to when this is happening, one time. And then that way it's fair for everybody. It's the same for everybody. Because I've been making the argument against what you're saying. You're saying it's hurting them this way. I think it can hurt them the other way too. That if you wait, if there's an opening in December and you stick with your team, because some people might want to do that until the end and make themselves a little more money by playing well, that could still hurt you, because a lot of these openings at your position are already full by the time you guys are done with your season.
So let me ask you this, Mike. I hear feedback.
What?
I don't know.
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Got you.
Yeah. Well, hold on. I see what it is.
We hear you.
Yeah, I hear you fine.
Yeah. So what about the coaches, guys? What about the coaches that at the end of the year, this kid don't know that his running back coach is being replaced, and now he has to make a decision now? I mean, it's a lot of different things. And Mike, I get it. I understand you taking a hard ball on this, and I'm cool with it. But there's other situations that comes in with this type of stuff that plays all into what we're talking about. The only really one good thing that I do see, if that's the case, a kid can lowball. And what I mean by lowball, I mean stay low and still get his $15,000, $20,000 and still be able to go. Because if that portal opens up early and he said, I don't want to be here, then cool, that money cuts off. But if he don't want to be there, even when the date is pushed back, at least you're still getting some bread in his pocket. Instead of him.
I mean, that I mean, I just don't feel like that should be a factor in changing proposed changing on the portal.
Not for everybody.
No, I'm saying at least it happens. I'm not saying it should be a factor.
Yeah.
I'm just looking at it from something that's positive. That's all I'm looking at it as from. Because
so like let's say even in December, right? Like let's say even in December, what if like the dude's not playing, right? Your season's over with, right? And you're not practicing anyway. Why can't he jump in the portal and still maybe get that month of NIL check? Because as long as he's lived up to his name,
could be working for him already.
He's done his deliverables, right?
Yeah, well, your agent's gonna be working for you already. You can already be talking to your guy, whoever your handler is, your agent, whatever.
Go get your agent. You don't have to do it. You don't have to jump in the pool.
Go get your agent. Or your dad, or whoever the fuck is doing it for you.
Whoever it is. You know?
The point is you're not limiting these kids from doing what they want to do in that situation either. You're not. You're just opening it at one time. That's it. But if you're already leaving, whoever it is that's doing your business for you, or you can make a phone call to players that you know that, because players do a lot of this shit anyways, so that it isn't tampering.
They're already doing it before the portal opens, so why moving it? Why does it even matter? That's my point. It doesn't matter.
Because you don't want to make it, because you want to give the same opportunity for everybody and have your free agency, which is what it is.
Jason, how are you giving everybody the same opportunity?
I'm going to go back to what I asked you earlier because you still didn't answer it. What would you think if they started free agency the week before the playoff?
And so you're trying to tell me they don't tamper before free agency in the NFL?
I asked you a question.
That's not the question he asked you.
So we'll ask it again then.
What would you think if right before the Bucks are going into their playoff that free agency opens and your 3 of your best players are going to go into free agency and not play on your playoff team?
It is what it is.
Bullshit.
I don't. Bullshit. Of course I'd be pissed off. Like, what kind of dumbass question is that? Of course I'd be pissed off. But how can I be pissed off at the player if that rule is available? I mean, fuck, it sucks. But why?
Talking about the same shit, bro.
No, it's not.
It is.
It is not the same. It is not. It is not the. So you're trying to tell me like it's the same for a playoff team that's not a non-playoff team?
It's the same.
It doesn't affect them the same way. Just like it doesn't affect 90% of the college football teams.
The guys that aren't in the playoffs don't go into free agency any earlier either. But they still know that they are eligible to be a free agent. It doesn't change any of that shit. They can still be having these conversations like they would be in the college football with it moving. It's just, that's the thing. I'm not going to continue arguing about the same stupid shit that we've been talking about for 45 minutes. I got to go either way. The point is we're just moving it to one time to where it's the same for everybody. Well, nobody's trying to hurt any players at all. That's not what you're trying to. If anything, I feel like I can make the argument that you're trying to make it fair for everybody and make it better on the players so that they don't get fucked with like that.
I'm gonna say this and I gotta go.
I gotta go.
Gotta go do some.
Man, y'all gotta go.
Hey, you've been gone all morning, bro.
I mean, don't get mad if I'm trying to get back on my fitness.
I got something. My wife's birthday tomorrow. I got some stuff I got to do. But anyway, long story short is this right here, guys. Mike, I understand what you're trying to say, and I'm cool. I'm cool with it. But 90% of the kids that's getting in the portal, they know where they're going. What I mean by that, they've already been contacted. Yep. So
no one's disputing that.
So the percentage that you're talking about is probably that 10%. And I get it. I'm cool with that. But them having one day, whether it's in January or whatever it is, that's what they're trying to narrow it down to. They're trying to narrow it down to so it won't be so much movement. So the schools.
So you really think that narrowing it down is going to limit the movement?
No, I didn't say that. I said what they're trying to do.
That's what I'm saying. Do you think it will have that effect? Do you think it will have that effect?
To one window, whether it's before or after, they're trying to narrow it down. They're trying to take away so many kids getting in the portal.
I don't think it's going to change how many kids get in the portal.
I think it will because kids
I don't necessarily do.
It won't change. I don't think it'll change that either. But what I think it changes is the amount that have to go at a certain time that it could screw with their career because they look like they just quit on their team. Because Marcus said it a minute ago, if somebody leaves their team in the middle of a playoff run, I don't want the motherfucker.
He don't want to be there anyway, so it doesn't matter. if you want him or not. He doesn't want to be there.
No. I'm not talking about that school. I'm talking about the other school. That if I'm a football coach,
guess what? Somebody out there will want him.
Not
You will
necessarily.
find somebody out there that will want him. So I wanted to ask this earlier. What happened to the UNLV quarterback that shut it down and redshirted? Did he sign somewhere? Sluka? Did he sign anywhere?
That's a perfect damn example.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. And guess what? That's his choice he made. He was the first to make that choice, and maybe he might be the guinea pig.
Not hurting Bear Alexander, though. Not hurting Bear.
Yep.
That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Somebody is always going to take these dudes.
The rule helps the kids because if his ass had been a situation where I know I can't do this, then his ass probably would have had somewhere to go after this year.
Turns out though that it may have been the school that fucked him over in that instance. I'm all for protecting the player. I'm for protecting the player here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And if the
he got to protect himself. He got to protect himself.
Go to court on that.
You know what though? It's easy to say that when you're talking, you can come from that angle where you are because you're involved in what's going on with your kids. You're going to you and your wife are going to give good advice to your sons because you're there. Not everybody has that situation where they got the right person in their ear.
Dude, it's not even about that.
Yes,
you
it is
about
to make
sure that. No. What I'm saying is you need to make sure that shit is in writing. When somebody says, "Hey, I'm going to pay you $200,000,"
no doubt about that. That kid should have known better. No doubt about
it. No, and it wasn't like he's an 18-year-old kid. He'd already been to what, Holy Cross in that fucking Ivy League.
Sure. I'm not just talking, but not everybody's that kid though.
But I'm saying though, in that instance, it's on that kid.
Sure, in that
maybe it's on UNLV.
Kid, or is it on Brennan Marion because he told him he was going to give him this money and then he fucked him when he got there?
But that's what I'm saying.
What are you saying?
You got to make sure that your shit is in order. You know what I mean?
Okay, sure.
That's all I'm saying. We never really got the full story of what really happened. But all I'm saying is if they tried to fleece him out the money and he got it down, good on him.
I think there's a reason why he didn't follow the coach to Purdue.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't over performance. They were kicking ass. Why wouldn't you want him to come with you? Instead, he's going to Sacramento State.
Something Is that where he went?
Yeah.
Sluka
he's
did?
The head coach there, but who gives
I thought you were talking about Sluka.
No. Brennan.
Yeah.
What is Sluka? As far as I know, I don't know.
I don't know if he went anywhere. They're saying James Madison. I don't know. No, or are you talking about that's where he came from?
Oh.
He came
from Holy Cross, right? Yeah.
Yeah, he came from Holy Cross. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so he signed at James Madison. Okay.
Well, all right, I'll let y'all get off here, man. I'm tired of whooping up on y'all asses. So you go ahead. Make sure you tell Passion I say happy birthday and make sure you get her something nice. All right, Jason, whatever it is you got to do, go handle that. All right. It was good.
My dog.
You know what I mean? and anytime you want to go at it, we can go at it. Like, because I feel like
baby. We always love having you here.
And I put the ass on both y'all.
I love stepping on your neck. I love stepping on your neck, big boy. I love stepping on your neck, big boy. It's all good. You come back and take it anytime.
I'm Big Jason. I'm a media personality. You think you just come in and big dog me, bro? Nah. Ain't happening, bro. CBG did not say Jason Watkins for CFP commissioner. I'm just gonna put it to you like that.
Hey man, shout out to CBG the student. We love him.
You know what I'm saying?
He is my guy. All love for him. It's all good. Thank you for being on the show. As always, we enjoy when you come in, even when you're full of shit like today.
So let me tell you something. Would it be interesting and if all three of us had the same take on it?
Oh no, I enjoyed the entire last hour. I just have to leave.
All three of us had a different take. That's the problem. I ain't gonna say that's the problem, but
this was always fun. This was always no matter what.
Baby.
I don't know. A lot of people must have clipped. I would hope you guys were clipping this. If not, I mean, come on, man.
Yeah. I need y'all to clip Jason and Marcus making my point for me. That it doesn't
Are you
matter.
not entertained? You haven't hit the like button. What the fuck is going on?
Like the shit out of it. Share it, repost it, like that mug.
Heck yeah. Share it, clip it. There's lots of ways. It's all clippable.
Hey.
Make sure you get it out there.
Hey, college football, if y'all need any guidance, you know how to hit me up. Follow me on Twitter. Let me know. I'll help y'all out. Let's do it.
We'll see y'all on the
Small
next.
fee.